Cricket World Cup. Ivory Coast, the third African side, through to the last 32, advancing with Ecuador, who shocked Germany, while Japan will have to play Brazil in the knockouts. And the FIA declares a heat hazard for this weekend's Formula One race in Austria.
A fine day in store for Gauteng this Friday. Johannesburg starting at 6 degrees, peaking at 19. Pretoria 11 and 21. Vereeniging 7 and 18 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Katmatlala has confessed to paying a senior police officer hundreds of thousands of rand so that she could influence a lucrative SAPS tender in his favor.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock on a Friday, the 26th of June, the year of our Lord 2026. Welcome to the program. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. On our menu today, we look back at the week that was. One of the moments that you might have missed was the Standing Committee on Public Accounts in Parliament questioning the leadership of the National Youth Development Agency. In fact, it was two committees that came together, and not only was the NYDA leadership there, but so was the minister. This is Minister Chikunga. And they were all facing tough questions, many of which they couldn't really answer satisfactorily. We're going to be speaking to Alan Beasley, who's an Action SA MP, who's going to talk to us about what occurred in Parliament and what it means for the entity. We had promised you an interview with the Justice Minister. I imagine, particularly those in the security cluster, have been up all night preparing all sorts of plans to make sure that the country doesn't burn come next week. So she's no longer able to join us. And we thought on a Friday, perhaps let's have a different conversation. If you're an employer and your employee is unwell, they produce a sick note. How do you know it's genuine? How? If you're an employee and you produce that sick note and you are questioned on its veracity, what are your rights? We have two startling cases in South Africa. The recent tragedy at Cartrack and what's unfolding at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, with one witness who's almost always sick when they're required to appear.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
How widespread is the practice of healthcare practitioners providing people with sick notes who are in fact perfectly fine? Is that something we need to worry about? And what are your rights if even when you are unwell, you are questioned for even providing information that says that you are? What are your rights? What are the rights of the employer? That's a question we'll delve into after 7 o'clock. And then, of course, Paul Pops, the comedian, celebrating 10 years of comedy. He'll explain his upcoming comedy special.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
10 minutes after 6 o'clock. Of course, I'm not alone. There's an entire team of colleagues behind the scenes who help put the show together. Voices you're familiar with hearing are Amo and Muteo. And what we always do on a Friday, as is our tradition, we have a little song, don't we, Amo?
We do.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Is your throat cleared?
Mm-hmm.
Muteo, did you have your lozenges overnight?
Not just yet.
Has your voice recovered from yesterday? From
yes.
24 hours ago?
Yeah, I'm resting it for Sunday.
Here we go. A one, two, three.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday. See, Bafana have given us that vai. I think that's about the best It's a Friday we have done in quite some time.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
11 minutes after 6 o'clock. We often have a shout out, of course, and the shout out is to illustrate something that's in the news that we think you should know. But sometimes we're actually a little direct. I want you to hear this clip from the CNN journalist Max Foster, who is talking about a new survey that the UK government has reportedly released, and they're questioning funding decisions, particularly when it comes to public universities and what that economy needs. And I thought it has some application to South Africa. We've often spoken about unemployed young people, and as we wrap up Youth Month, I think it's something that we need to have some conversation about. Many young people who are unemployed don't have the skills that the market needs. Now, sometimes it's through no fault of their own, because the schooling system just didn't allow them even to complete their studies. We also have the unfortunate scenario of graduates who have gone to university, who have gone to an institution of higher learning, who can produce a diploma or a degree or some kind of qualification. But again, it's a skill the market says, no, we don't really need to. Muteo is going to be delving into this coming up in a moment. But have a listen to what Max Foster has to say about what the UK government is considering. And essentially what the question is, are there fields of study noble, fulfilling to the individual, valuable to society at large, but don't benefit the economy immediately? You follow what I'm saying? They're valuable, absolutely fulfilling to the individuals who pursue that field of study, that area of study, and they are of benefit to society. It's an area whose knowledge we need, but it's not something that will create employment or opportunities really for anyone else, including the individual who might have pursued that field of study. Should we then be using public funds, taxpayer rands, to fund public universities to teach people skills our economy doesn't need?
The British government is considering cutting back on certain degrees that can actually reduce what you earn. So they commissioned a study and they found that graduates do generally earn more money, but it depends a lot on what you studied. So they found that these subjects generally increase your earning potential over your lifetime: medicine and economics, followed by law, medical sciences, business and computing. They're just the top 6. There are other subjects in this table, but at the other end of the table, studying certain subjects typically doesn't increase your earning potential and can actually reduce it. So at the bottom of the table are creative and performing arts, languages, philosophy, English, and geography. There are many other subjects on this table in between, and of course you can study those subjects and do extremely well, but they've looked at the average, they've looked at earning potential, so it depends what you want out of university, and they're essentially saying you might be much better off not going to university or doing an apprenticeship or basically studying a subject that does have earning potential.
So, what are your thoughts on that? Are there fields or areas of study that we should be rethinking and relooking? And if you look at your particular circumstances, I mean, one of the, I almost don't want to delve into this, but one of the pressure points, I think, around even migration in South Africa is the idea that many migrants come to this country with skills many South Africans lack or just are not as good at. Yes, I understand that there are issues around people who will employ, migrants who are undocumented because they can pay them less, because they can exploit them. I get that. But something as simple as, making clothes, right? How many young boys, forget girls, how many young boys are being taught how to make clothes with a Singer machine? That's just not something we do. Whereas in countries like Malawi, for example, there are many multi-generations of young men who have learnt the skill from their father, who learnt it from their grandfather, cobblers, people who make shoes, right? Those basic skills that we sometimes will thumb our nose at. Is there something we are missing in terms of how our system of learning and teaching works? What are your thoughts?
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk at 16 minutes after 6 o'clock. Fikile Mbalula, the ANC Secretary General, yesterday at Luthuli House invited the media and opined about a number of things, including, of course, what is planned for next week around migration. And he was drawing a direct link between the anti-immigration protests we are seeing and what happened 5 years ago in 2021 when we had that unrest in July. And he has pointed the finger directly at the former president, Jacob Zuma, accusing him and the MK party of exploiting anti-immigrant sentiment to manufacture chaos and anarchy.
Unlawful immigration is being manipulated by new political formations. A convenient cover by political formations whose real purpose is to manufacture chaos, to collapse the institutions of the state, and to engineer fear and unfair conditions on the very eve of our local government elections. Jacob Zuma was the state president of this country. He was here when our people were crying about illegal immigrants, illegal spaza shops. He was a president. He knew what we were dealing with. Today he stands on platforms and say people are speaking English. How convenient is that? Supporting March and March, standing in the streets and marshalling our people to chaos and anarchy.
What are your thoughts? Has Fikile Mbalula diagnosed the moment correctly? Is it all about Jacob Zuma? Is it about creating chaos on the eve of the local government elections? Will things disintegrate, or has that framing of the issue meant then that the authorities are ready?
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Mutel, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know from you and the rest of the 702 landers, which degrees did your parents advise you to do? Did it work out for you? Or did you choose a different route for yourself? And what are you telling the young people in your lives today? What degrees they should be going?
Listen, I have a daughter in grade 11, so it's a very pertinent question in my life. I think my parents, my folks would have probably preferred that I study something like law.
Yeah.
There was no funding for me to do that, so the only way I could sort of get ahead to get to university was I tried to go and study English and history and thought I might become a teacher. But upon, of course, getting to university, international relations and politics became a lot more interesting, so I kind of pivoted. But the idea was initially that I would end up teaching, and I think a few lives, a few minds were not destroyed.
It's worked out. Amu?
Accounting. My mom always loved accounting. For me, though, and I don't know why, because numbers have never been my thing, but she would say, you know what, get yourself into accounting. I promise you there's many jobs there, there's many opportunities, and you can also work international and all of that, but I was just not interested.
Does she remind you about it?
No,
Or
she
she's happy
doesn't.
that you found your own
She
way?
doesn't.
Often parents will see someone,
Mm.
be like Muteo. Whether you've got the
Yeah.
inclination, you know.
And there was an example in my community in our street where we lived, Lesego, and she works for a big bank today, and she's doing exceptionally well. I promise you, she's always been the trendsetter for our generation. Look at
See,
Lesego.
you could have been Lesego.
Look at
You
Lesego.
could have been Lesego.
I'm happy as
But look
Amo.
at Amo.
I'll tell you why I'm asking.
702.
Weather.
20 after 6, this weather report brought to you by Subaru. Rain on the road, gravel under the wheels. However today's weather changes, Subaru keeps you moving. A fine day for Friday today. Temperatures in Joburg a little lower than yesterday. 19 degrees is your peak in Joburg. 21 for Pretoria, 18 for Vereeniging. Cape Town, a little warmer. A fine day there, peaking at 21 degrees. Mahikeng, 19. Gqeberha, 24. East London, a really rosy 26. Durban, maxing at 25.
Some mornings, the world feels uncertain. The sky turns, the road changes, and then there's that feeling. The quiet grip of the road beneath you, the calm in every turn. It's not just how it drives, it's how it takes care of you and the people you love. And somewhere between the first drop of rain and the road ahead, you realize you've fallen in love. Subaru carries you through life's weather. Fall in love with Subaru's all-weather confidence. Book a test drive on subaru.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
All right, Lisek, Amo is here to give us today's traffic. 21 after 6. Amo, what's happening on the roads?
Well, we've got delays on the Marquand North between Boysons Road and the Car Street exit. This is due to peak time delays. If you are leaving Soweto at this particular moment, we've got delays on Klipsford Valley Road approaching the Soweto Highway Circle. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between the Golden Highway and the Deep Kloof Interchange. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When the people of Joburg unite for 702 Josie, my Josie, walk the talk, Sunday 26 July, safety will be our priority. So the South African Police Service, the JMPD, private security, emergency services, other key stakeholders, all of them are going to be there with a complete and comprehensive safety plan in place every step of the way. There's the Safe Park and Ride to start at the Ellis Park, thanks to the Gautrain and Prasa. So come along and walk the iconic inner city with us by entering on primemediaplus.com now. The 702 Josie, my Josie, walk the talk, hosted by the city of Joburg. Walk with the people, for the people.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Ready to go?
No, can't.
Your mother raised you. She can look after him for one day.
But he's just a baby.
He's 7.
Just a baby.
I've packed his favorite toy and blanket.
Okay, just grab his Hills food.
Always.
We know that you only want the best for your small dog, which is why Hills has developed expert science-backed nutrition to meet the unique needs of small dogs and help them live their best lives across their longer lifespans. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.25% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now, feel the earn. Invest within 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank, we're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, go to nedbank.co.za.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, my friend owns a catering company. One of her employees did not come to work for some days. And when she came, she produced a sick note. And the reason, the sick note, it was written stomach pain. And she know that was not valid. Tabangi.
Stomach pain. We're asking this question, of course, because you would have noted yesterday at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, the evidence leader, Advocate Matthew Taskelson, raised concerns over one witness, the Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim's repeated medical absences. And Advocate Taskelson pointed to a pattern where hospitalization is reported every time he's got a scheduled appearance at the commission. And he says this is a problem.
But I do want to place on record that we don't accept many of these submissions. And in particular, the one worrying thing that we see is what the medical reports disclose is that Mr. Karim has not been hospitalized continuously since April. He tends to get hospitalized just as his appearances before this commission are scheduled. And that is worrying. And it's particularly worrying in the context of a situation where very basic, quite aside from his appearances, there are very basic requests for some documents to be furnished, like financial statements. It doesn't take much to issue an instruction for financial statements of a company to be made available to this commission if you're not in hospital. And what we see is a simple refusal to comply with these notices.
I think that scenario is pretty clear. How then, as an employer, for example, do you deal with such? Remember also the context of the tragedy that occurred at Cartrack, where it is alleged an employee was in fact ill, but wasn't taken seriously. It's alleged, but how do you deal with it?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
With tensions, of course, rising ahead of the 30th of June, Gauteng police have issued a stern warning to South Africans. Anyone found harboring or assisting undocumented immigrants could face hefty fines and even criminal prosecution. The warning comes as law enforcement agencies across provinces tend, or at least are stepping up preparations for possible protests. Then in an extraordinary story in the Bellville Magistrates Court today, a 63-year-old woman, Aletta Rose, is expected to appear on charges of allegedly murdering and dismembering, remember she's 63, her 79-year-old sister Constance. It's a heartbreaking story, and the family, of course, insist the two sisters had shared a close bond. The victim's son has spoken of his disbelief, recalling how the aunt, who's now accused of the murder, had even helped him when he was had helped raise him when he was still a child. It's just one of those unbelievable stories where they have to consider the mental wellness of the accused in this case. But how does a family begin to even pick up the pieces when something like this happens? Do you closely monitor the games your child plays? In the worldview, Adam Gilchrist will give us a story that has come into the spotlight after authorities in the Philippines temporarily blocked the online game Gorebox following a devastating school shooting that has left 3 students dead and 20 others injured. In the aftermath of World War II, a pivotal moment in global history unfolded on this day in 1945 when the United Nations Charter was adopted in San Francisco. And happy birthday, 16V. Theophilus Kumalo, affectionately known as Doctor, turns all of 59 today. He was born in 1967 on this day in Dube, Soweto. He was one of the most gifted midfielders the country has ever produced. And of course, he played in the famous black and gold of Kaizer Chiefs between 1987 and 2004.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, what's grabbing your attention? Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Europe's brutal heat wave is now forcing authorities to take extraordinary measures. It's been the big story in Europe for the past 2 weeks. In Paris, for instance, public alcohol consumption and takeaway alcohol sales have been banned for a while to reduce pressure on overcrowded hospitals as temperatures continue to increase. And France has also raised its highest health alert, with officials urging people, including young and healthy residents, to avoid exercise after a spike in heat-related medical emergencies. So all the things that you think might be healthy for you, there's put them on pause for a while because they could cause detrimental harm.
The business day is leading with Kat Matlala setting the dominoes falling. The Sowetan, a picture of Bafana Siyabangena. Mail and Guardian spoke to Herman Mashaba about his migrant plans, and The Citizen also a picture of Bafana.
EWN Business.
Mateo, of course, we are talking about areas and fields of study this morning. It's a relevant question here for South Africa too.
Yeah, so Bongani, while youth unemployment in South Africa is exceptionally high, right? Our university graduates are significantly more likely to secure employment. Our recent labor data shows that graduate unemployment at around 10.3%. Now, this is compared to the national youth unemployment rate of over 40%. Now, these graduates in health sciences, accounting, actuarial science, data science, and engineering are the ones that are in higher demand. Humanities and general social science degrees face lower initial employment rates, with surveys showing almost half struggling to find direct employment in their field. So in our economy, it's those highly skilled degrees that get the first preference. The highest median starting salaries are often at 370,000 Rand or more. Those go to actuaries, investment analysts, and quantitative analysts. So you earn more as you start the job. In South Africa, the highest paying degrees are heavily concentrated in medicine, actuarial science, engineering, and finance and technology, where you can earn between 700,000 and 3 million Rand per year. Now, degrees in medicine, computer science, and petroleum engineering are also dominating international earning charts as well. So there's high demand in economies like the US, the UK, and the UAE. Now, according to the Department of Higher Education here in South Africa, the economy is crying out for artisans, vocational skills, technicians, and skilled workers. A third of the demand list in South Africa is made up of vocational occupations at NQF level 5, one level above matric. So those ones are often overlooked.
I think one of the problems we have in South Africa is this mindset that you are going to go get a job. Someone will employ you versus creating your own opportunities.
Yes,
and maybe once that mind shift happens, we might get somewhere. Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour, 16 Rand 52 against the US dollar. Weaker this morning, 18 Rand 78 against the euro, 21 Rand 79 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is exactly $4,006 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,572. Brent crude down 2% this morning at $73 a barrel, boding well for those petrol and diesel prices at the pumps. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, a warning not to be led by the nose.
That's right, Bongani, and it's coming out from KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli, who says the groups who are demonstrating against illegal migration must be wary of unsolicited political interference. Ntuli was speaking at the KZN Provincial Government Summit on illegal immigration in Durban yesterday. The gathering discussed recent protests which prompted the looming June 30 deadline for undocumented migrants to leave the country.
I understand that there are forces, opportunists, that are seeing this platform as a platform to profile themselves. When we are dealing with such a sensitive matter, we need to be responsible. We must be responsible.
Ntuli says locals must also be allowed to participate in addressing the crisis as it directly affects them.
Migration is not a matter of government that government can manage alone. And it is not a matter to be handled by enforcement agencies in isolation from communities. Communities also have a role to play.
Meanwhile, civic organization March and March, that is spearheading next week as protest, which was part of the summit, has lauded the KZN government for hosting the gathering. March and March leader Jacinta Ngobese Zuma.
I've seen the Premier of the province has been very active and at the forefront of this entire conversation. And for him to host the very first summit is proof of that. You know, I think he's doing better than the president of the country, if you ask me, when it comes to addressing the issue. And I think he deserves credit for that. And I think, well, I hope that we'll come out with solutions.
The National Gambling Board has requested the Communications and Digital Technologies Department to assist it in addressing illegal offshore online gambling operations in South Africa. Presenting before Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Trade, Industry and Competition this week, the board flagged a surge in offshore operators offering illegal online casinos in the country. The board says it's working with its international counterparts to block access for unlicensed platforms. Annalita Fandese reports.
The National Gambling Board plans to block IP addresses of illegal online gambling platforms in South Africa. The NGB said it had roped in South African law enforcement and provincial licensing authorities to combat illegal gambling, calling for the prioritization of gambling crime. One of the key actions highlighted in this regard was the development of a blocking system to block illegal gambling websites in South Africa. NGB also pointed to marketing regulations as a major concern. The NGB has repeatedly reiterated that interactive gambling was illegal in South Africa, except for online sports betting through licensed platforms. Annalita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And desperate Venezuelans are racing to find and rescue people trapped beneath the rubble of collapsed buildings after two major earthquakes that killed at least 235 people. Buildings cracked and crumbled after the quakes, which the U.S. Geological Survey measured at magnitude 7.2 and 7.5, hit northern Venezuela within less than a minute of each other on Wednesday night. Powerful aftershocks could still be felt yesterday, and the health ministry has reported the death toll had risen from 188 to at least 235. More than 1,500 people were injured as the earth shook in what many people have called a terrifying display of nature's raw power. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 6 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Boksburg along the N12 West. This is due to an accident. It happened right after the R21. It is causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there while traveling on the Mark 1 North bumper-to-bumper traffic between Boysons Road and Empire Road and Justin. We've also got an accident just reported on the Mark 1 North. It happened near the 11th Avenue exit. It's causing delays coming out of Houghton, the Killarney Bends.
The top story this hour, KZN Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli has warned groups demonstrating against illegal migration to be wary of political interference.
That's Thabo before he got naked. When Thabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best. Hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Thabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Thabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
It's Powerball jackpot time. This Friday, you have a chance to win over 180 million rand in total Powerball estimated jackpots. That's life-changing money that could be yours instantly. Catch the live draw this Friday, 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. You could become SA's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. Mo players, mo chances, mo millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by CZ High.
Is there a word for the feeling of a road disappearing over the horizon? Beyonding? What about the feeling you get when you see sunlight flickering through rows of trees? Sun fizzing. Anyway, some things don't like to be explained. They just ask to be felt. Like the feeling of a drive built around you. Technology that's human first makes you one with your car in a way that you can't explain. You can only feel. And there's a word for that. Mazda. Wonder awaits. At the 702 Josie Majosi Walk the Talk, snap and share all 5 Mazda Wonder experiences using hashtag MazdaSA to stand a chance to win a share of 50,000 Rand.
It's your last chance to enter Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. Entries closing soon. This year, as you know, we're celebrating entrepreneurs turning personal challenges into businesses to make a real difference. You can still go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com to enter and tell us your inspiring story. 200,000 Rand, the recognition of your business deserves. Nedbank, see money differently. An authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 land. Morning. Bongs, I don't often agree much with Mbalula, but he's got a point. Jacob Zuma did lead the state at some point, and a lot of what he's saying now, he could have curbed when he was leading. He's just taking advantage of the moment in order to gain votes. It's ridiculous, you know. I mean, for an ex-state president to come out and support a bullying organization like barbaric bullying organization like March and March and the things that they do. I mean, yes, let's hear your voice, but not through violence and shambocking people in the streets.
Good morning, Bongani. I think it's very cheap coming from Fikile Mbalula, wanting to blame President Jacob Zuma for the ills, for the ills of government, for government failure on the ground. This current development about the March and March and the 30 June upcoming protest, it has nothing to do with any political party, let alone Jacob Zuma. So for Fikile Mbalula and the ANC, while it is in charge of the state, they cannot now want to shift the blame.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Happy Friday. Great show as always. Bongani, I think what Fikile Mbalula said, it's not necessarily the diagnosis of the entire problem, but it's one element of the problem that we have. I think there is truth in what he says, or what he said. And it baffles me, especially with the former president. There's a lot of issues that he plays foul on, and he was really a state president, one of which is this pan-African outlook that he's got. And I mean, he was there, he did whatever that he did, but it was not in the best interest of the same people that he's talking about now. And for me, it really sounds like a very disgruntled old man that wants to seem relevant and at the expense of creating chaos at time. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no question. I mean, we spoke to Zwelinzima Vavi just last week, and he said, quite frankly, this is all squarely at the door of one Jacob Zuma. And I suppose one of the things that the man from Gandla is hoping is that we all have short memories.
Good morning, Bonganini and the team. Let's just say, with all this euphoria regarding Bafana this week, let's not forget our ladies cricketers. They are doing very well. They had their Mexico game against Australia. And just like Bafana had their shocking first game, and they're coming back. And I think they're going all the way. Let's take it. Froutias from Rustenburg.
EWN Sport.
Yes, indeed. This EWN Sport brought to you by Checkers. The savings scoreboard keeps climbing. The Checkers XXL Savings Championship brings you 150 million rand in weekly savings only at Checkers. Perhaps one little correction there, Cindy Paluta. It's not Test cricket, but it's
T20.
T20
Cricket World Cup, and that's where we start today because the Proteas women thrashed Netherlands by 88 runs last night. South Africa posting 208 for 1 thanks to play of the match. Tasman Brits unbeaten 114 from 69. Fulford making 45. Dirksen also unbeaten on 37. Ayabonga Kaka then took 3 wickets as the Netherlands reached 120 for 8. Here's Brits.
Yeah, I mean, I always believe in myself. I always like to think that there's somewhere along the line I'll be able to help this team win a World Cup. I'm glad that I could get that 100, and I'm glad I could help us to get to the 200 today.
Proteas stay second on the group behind India on points difference after India beat Bangladesh by 5 wickets. The Proteas next play Bangladesh on Sunday. In men's test cricket, New Zealand 361 for 4 at stumps on day 1 of the deciding test against England. Conway made 157 and Latham made 151, while Sri Lanka 308 all out on day 1 of the first test of the West Indies. De Silva made 120. Greaves took 3 wickets. At the FIFA World Cup, Ivory Coast becomes the 3rd African nation through to the last 32, and just like South Africa, it's the first time in that country's history they've made it up the group stages. Ivory Coast beat Curacao 2-0, Nicolas Pepe with both goals. They'll play Norway or France in the next round. No.
Shame, man.
I saw that, I was like, oh. For Curacao, the smallest nation to ever compete at a World Cup, the fairy tale is over. Ecuador pulled off a massive shock. They came from a goal down to beat Germany 2-1 and make the knockouts. Sweden drew with Japan 1-1 to finish 3rd in their group, and they're also waiting to see if they'll play Norway or France. While Japan knows they face Brazil in the last 32. Japan finished 2nd in the group behind the Netherlands, who easily beat Tunisia 3-1. This morning, USA and Australia already through to the last 32. USA lost to Turkey at 3-2. Australia, Paraguay was goalless. Paraguay finished 3rd in their group and must wait to see if they are going to make the 32.
So, Cindy, we didn't really have the toughest of groups, actually. I'm just listening to what you are saying and what other teams are facing, and I'm thinking, you?
Yeah, I think in hindsight we're quite happy with who we got. It wasn't so bad. And then in Formula One, they're in Austria this weekend, where FIA has declared a heat hazard, with temperatures expected to soar in the late 30s as a heat wave sweeps across Europe. Protocol is that drivers must either wear a mandated liquid-cooled vest or carry an extra 5 kgs of ballast in their cars. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The savings scoreboard just keeps climbing. The Checkers XXL Savings Championship brings you 150 million rand in weekly savings on deals like Jacob's Kruinem or Gold Instant Coffee, 200 or 230 grams, any 2 for 299 rand, save 101 rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply white or quilts toilet rolls, 18 per pack for 249 rand. Valid until 28 June, only at Checkers.
Sunday, 26 July, the entire city uniting for the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. So this Saturday, tomorrow, Googs will be hosting her weekend breakfast show from the highest point. This is on the 15-kilometer route at Constitution Hill, next to the Flame of Democracy. You remember, of course, that 15K route takes you from Ellis Park to the Constitution Hill precinct, through Bromfontein and back to Ellis Park. So Googs will be finding out more about the experiences you can have on the special edition of the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk through the Joburg inner city. So listen to Googs Saturday 6 to 10 live from Con Hill.
Head to Discount for the ultimate savings this winter. Look out for the yellow label to shop Better Rewards brands in-store and online. Swipe your Better Rewards card to save 142 Rand on the Uriage 500ml cleansing oil, now only 242 Rand 55. Plus save 125 Rand on the Revlon age-defying SPF 25 foundation, now only 214 Rand 19. Offers valid until 12 July at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Let's hear from Al, owner of Johnson's Cable, why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
I thought it was going to be difficult to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
For electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Get over 150 million Rand in weekly extra savings with the Checkers XXL Savings Championship. Like Jacob's Chronamo Gold Instant Coffee, 200 or 230 grams, any two for 299 Rand. Escort Diced Back Round Cut or Shoulder Bacon, 200 grams, any three for 99 Rand. And Omo Auto Liquid Detergent, 2 litres, or capsules 20 per pack. Buy 2 and get a third free. Valid until 28 June, only at Checkers.
Kaelo Lifestyle, a mental wellness and support program for employees and their families, is calling on you to take a step towards better mental health. As the mental wellness partner of 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, Kaelo is bringing even more purpose to the walk. From checking in with yourself to celebrating connection, every step is designed to support your well-being. So rally your team and walk for mental wellness. Visit primemediaplus.com for more information. Kaelo Lifestyle, changing lives and improving business. On 702, let's walk the talk.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by OUTsurance, 3,000 Rand in cash up for grabs. So you send us an answer based on anything that piqued your interest during the show. For that, you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then later, someone else will frame a question that will lead to your answer, and they'll win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Good morning, Uncle Bongani. My name is Don Munangwa Mapangwa. I'm currently 12 years old. I attend Kiro Riverside as my school, and when I grow up, I would like to be a neurosurgeon. I'm excited to be joining you this morning on the Whiz Quiz.
Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
At the foot of Table Mountain, life moves a little differently. So just minutes from the Cape Town city centre, the Vineyard Hotel feels a world away, surrounded by gardens, trees, and a slower rhythm of life. So whether you're escaping for a few days or extending a business trip, it's a place to step out of the rush and slow down. So this winter, take a breather at the Vineyard. Stay for 2 nights and enjoy their winter offer. Find out more at vineyard.co.za.
It's that time of the year. Sore throats, congestion, wet and dry coughs, pain and fever. For trusted relief for you and your family, ask your pharmacist to recommend a winter survival pack from the Adcock Ingram OTC range. With products like Medikil A, Expigen, Corenza Parac, Adconapamol, Dilint Junior and more, we have you covered this winter. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
How would you describe the financial situation in Joburg at the moment? From the outside, it just seems to be getting worse.
If it was a business, it would be shuttered. But because you've got national government, that I think is what's keeping us going. It really is dire. I think there's very large-scale looting happening across the entities. And for me, I think Joburg's going to end up with a Madlanga Commission, Stephen.
Ferrell Hafaji is an associate editor.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by Absa Rewards.
Get double cash back depending on your rewards tier when an African team scores and wins at the FIFA World Cup 2026, courtesy of Visa. Use your ABSA Visa card at rewards partners on match days to score. Join ABSA Rewards on the banking app. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident on the Makwa North. This happened right near 11th Avenue. It's causing delays from the Kilani Bend, so please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the same route, the M1 North out of Boyson's Road, we've got heavier traffic volumes towards Car Street. That's due to peak time delays. I'll have more updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 49. What's that random warning light that keeps popping up on my car's dashboard? Oh, the mystery. Well, with the Outsurance pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
All right, up next, we look back at the week that was in Parliament. But in the meantime, let's play with Don, who is 12 years old and wants to be a neurosurgeon a little later on in life. Don joins us now on the line. Don, you must have a favorite teacher at school who's inspiring you. Who's your favorite teacher?
Yes, I do have a favorite teacher. My favorite teacher is Miss DeWitt.
Miss DeWitt. And do you want to say hi to Miss DeWitt?
Hi, Miss DeWitt. I hope you're doing well.
I'm sure she's hoping you will do well in the Whiz Quiz. KG, start the clock. In maths, what is 10 times 3?
30.
Correct. True or false? The word bonjour means goodbye in French.
False.
Correct. In which sport will a bowler shout, "How's that?" to an umpire? Is it cricket or rugby?
Cricket.
Correct. Which is a rodent, a mole or a squirrel?
A mole.
It's a squirrel. In what season does August fall in South Africa?
Skip.
In winter. Complete the saying, an apple a day keeps the what away?
The doctor away.
Correct. True or false? The Vaal River is the longest river in South Africa.
False.
Correct. Spell the word primary.
Primary.
Correct. Give the third letter in the word queen.
E.
Correct. True or false? The planet Mars has 2 moons.
False.
It's true. And that's all we have time for. We got through the 10 questions very quickly, but not a bad round, Don. Not a bad round at all. You did really, really well. You walk away with 700 Rand. 700 Rand. 7 correct answers.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702,
702.
the political desk.
As you know, of course, we're wrapping up Youth Month and we've been seized with the issue of youth unemployment in South Africa. The National Youth Development Agency is the one entity that's tasked with creating opportunities amongst other issues for young people in South Africa. And the spotlight fell this week as leaders of the entity answered questions before Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts. In particular, the agency's chairperson, Sunshine Miende, faced some tough questions from MPs, and you might say she and her team did not fare so well. Alan Beasley was one of those who was posing those tough questions. Alan Beasley is an Action SA member of Parliament and joins us now. Alan, a very good morning to you and welcome to our program.
Thank you so much. Good morning to you and good morning to your listeners, and thank you for having me.
There's so many issues we could touch one by one in terms of SCOPA proceedings this week, but I'm particularly interested, of course, as you might guess, as a media practitioner, about the NYDA and their issue with a Sunday Times journalist.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely bizarre. I mean, it's absolutely bizarre to use state resources to try and gag the press. It's absolutely unacceptable, and that's why, you know, I in Action SA and I think the rest of the MPs there took strong exception to it. And she was going under the guise that she was doing it in her personal capacity, when it's quite clear that she's using state resources to fight to gag the press, and it's totally unacceptable.
So for anybody who's missed the context, she was sent a number of questions by a Sunday Times political journalist based on whistleblower reports about what was unfolding or alleged to be unfolding at the NYDA. And instead of responding to those, she went to court to try and gag the journalist, told the court it was in her personal capacity, and came to Parliament and said to you, no, the entity was paying for it.
Yeah, no, and the word that I summed it up, because I was unaware of it, and I don't think any of us were aware of it, and it was just through the probing of questions that it actually landed, because the affidavit was quite clear that she was doing it in her personal capacity. So I had no idea that the NYDA was actually funding it, and it was just through the probing of questions that it came out. So there was a clear intention to mislead everybody, but fortunately, I think that's what SCOPA did. We asked the questions and we got the answers, and the word that I used was it's just absolutely bizarre. I mean, I couldn't think of another word to think.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely bizarre.
I noted with some interest, though, Alan, that the minister seemed to buy the explanation that, of course, the NYDA would have to pay for this because it was all related to her work as the chairperson.
Yeah, no, I mean, that I also found quite bizarre. When I posed the question, Minister, what do you think? She seemed a little bit confused, but then she tried to defend the matter, but it is indefendable. It really and truly is indefendable. And to use some old legislation to gag, if you've got an issue with the press, you go to the press ombudsman, or you do a defamation. You don't use some old legislation and manipulate it by saying you're a victim in your personal capacity. So, I mean, the minister's performance in the meeting was shambolic too. So once also, as they say, join the dots, and then you join the dots and you see, well, why is she defending her? Maybe they've got information on both of each other.
Yeah.
Her performance was shambolic too.
And we'll play some of those exchanges coming up. Alan Beasley, appreciate your time. Action SA Member of Parliament.
Hey, we buy cars. How does it work if I want to sell my car?
We'll drive to your place. You can visit our pods. Even if you don't have space, then at the mall in a parking lot, we've got lots of depots all across the land. Contact We Buy Cars. You're in safe hands. Safe hands.
Wow, that's great.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
When you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Nedbank is more than just a bank. We're a growth partner because we understand that real success happens when you're looking ahead, spotting opportunities others miss, and planning for tomorrow, today. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
That's Sia before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you, about transformation, elevation, and becoming the best version of yourself. Each episode shares powerful, hard-won lessons from prominent South Africans who have faced doubt, change, and early failure, and emerged transformed. Don't miss Shift Happens, the tools, insight, and skills to help you navigate the real realities of life. Now streaming on primemediaplus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
What's been thrown into the spotlight is the issue of sick notes. This is happening at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, where witness falls sick almost every time he's scheduled to appear. So the question is, how do employers know the sick notes people produce are really real? We'll hear the legalities and from healthcare professionals themselves.
This is EWN.
The national dialogue meant to improve people's lives seems to be doing the opposite. We bring you this EWN exclusive, and Ramaphosa calls on IDEC and the SAPS to get along. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The National Dialogue, an initiative launched by President Cyril Ramaphosa to address urgent national challenges, is under the spotlight, and it's not for the right reasons. EWN has obtained information on secrecy and allegations of the misuse of funds. Ramaphosa announced the National Dialogue almost a year ago, but it now seems its internal disputes are threatening to overshadow its rollout. Dimakatso Leshuru has this EWN exclusive.
Insiders allege that the inflow of public funds has triggered what they describe as a feeding frenzy, with concerns growing that another taxpayer-funded gravy train has left the station. Despite repeated requests, including from EWN, there remains limited public information about how the money has been spent. Insiders say control over the funds is exercised by a 5-member management executive committee comprising Khamisa Tengile, a staunch ANC member, Dr. Valencia Andrews, Queen Rebecca Como, David Murema, and Lux Gweka Matiso. Public money has allegedly been splurged on expensive travels and hotel stays. In one instance, 2,000 rand for a return trip between Soweto and Kosato House in Braamfontein, a 27-kilometer distance. EWN has learned that some members who joined the process on a voluntary basis are now seeking to be paid and raised this in a letter addressed to National Treasury. National Treasury has rejected this. Dimakatso Leshuru, Eyewitness News.
For more on the story, you can go to our website, ewn.co.za. President Cyril Ramaphosa has added his voice in the standoff between Police Crime Intelligence and the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption, calling on the two entities to focus on their priorities. Ramaphosa says the leadership of Police Crime Intelligence and IDEC should stop being vengeful and rather direct their energies to fight crime and corruption. Ramaphosa responded to the fallouts between IDEC and SAPS while responding to questions in the National Council of Provinces yesterday. Babalondenza reports.
The law enforcement agency fallout stems from the highly publicized arrest of Crime Intelligence head Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, which was later abandoned by IDEC. The withdrawal of Khumalo's arrest warrant heightened tensions between the police and IDEC, illustrating the deep divisions between the country's top police officials. The Justice Department has also confirmed that a complaint has been officially referred to the IDEC Ombudsman to investigate the allegations of abuse of power. Ramaphosa told the NCOP that several steps are being taken to stem the instability within the security structures.
All the key officials in our security agencies work in a cooperative manner, and they put aside what could be seen as vengeance against each other and focus on the task at hand. The task at hand is to fight criminality.
Ramaphosa said the task is to also make the criminal justice system and entities regain public trust. Babalo Ndanze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The Madlanga Commission has taken self-proclaimed police informant Tumelo Nku to task over a contradictory explanation for why he was found with a large sum of cash at a crime scene. Nku testified before the commission yesterday about his alleged involvement in a botched drug bust in the south of Joburg 5 years ago. He claims to have tipped off Gauteng Traffic Police Inspector Samuel Mashaba about a truck transporting more than 700 kilograms of cocaine from Durban. While Mashaba was involved in the seizure of the drugs, he was arrested with Nku on suspicion of attempting to steal the drugs. Alpha Ramushwana reports.
When self-proclaimed police source Tumelo Nku was arrested, about 60,000 rand in cash was found inside his car.
Nku told the Madlanga Commission that the money was merely petty cash and would also be useful when he needed to pay for intel. He then added that the cash intended to cover his travel costs to Durban, claiming he didn't use his bank card because he wanted to remain discreet. But evidence leader Teboho Musikiri presented Nku's bank statements, which showed that he had in fact used his bank card.
If we were to look at your bank account and find that you've actually not telling the truth because you've been swiping that card, what would you say?
I'd be surprised.
Okay, no, let's get surprised, then it's fine. You confirm that's a bank statement, what you're looking at?
Yes, sir.
Well, on the 7th of July, you will see that there's different toll gates there where the card was used.
The commission says carrying 60,000 rand in cash to a crime scene is suspicious behavior. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
And desperate Venezuelans are still hoping to find survivors beneath the rubble of collapsed homes and other buildings that crumbled when 2 earthquakes rattled the country. Officials say at least 235 people have died, including a little girl who cried out for help for hours until she couldn't anymore. Buildings cracked, crumbled and tilted after the quakes, which the U.S. Geological Survey measured at magnitudes of 7.2 and 7.5, hit northern Venezuela within less than a minute of each other on Wednesday night. Powerful aftershocks could still be felt yesterday, with the government reporting that more than 4,000 people have been injured. Gold is trading at $3,998.80 an ounce. The rand is at 16.54 to the dollar, 21.82 to the pound, 18.80 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $74.02 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we still have got that accident on the Mark 1 North that happened right near 11th Avenue. Delays from the Killarney Bends. There's also queuing traffic in Boksburg due to another accident. This one happened right near the R21. It's also causing delays. And in your sport, Tasman Brits hits a maiden T20 international century as the Proteas women beat the Netherlands by 88 runs at the T20 World Cup. Ivory Coast, the third African team through to the knockouts of the World Cup. Ecuador shocked Germany 2-1 to advance, while Japan now know they have to battle Brazil. And Kimi Antonelli has put the last race behind him and is focused for Austria this weekend.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 6 degrees, peaking at 19. Pretoria 11 and 21. Vereeniging 7 and 18 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The National Dialogue, an initiative launched by President Cyril Ramaphosa almost a year ago to address urgent national challenges, is under the spotlight and is not for the right reasons.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Wow, wow, wow. The National Dialogue. It was all the big talk, probably around about a year ago. And there have been questions around what has happened to it since. Yes, of course, it is an election year, so a lot of posturing would have been a concern for many political parties, and it seemed to have been placed on the back burner until the elections are over, so nobody uses it as a campaigning tool. But now we're hearing about monies that were transferred to get the process going. 107 million rand to NEDLAC, and then a further 88 million rand in the current financial year. Now concerns about a feeding frenzy. This example of a claim. I mean, if you've ever had to claim for travel at work, you know how it goes. One of the things you have to do is you have to be able to tell your employer how many kilometers you traveled. And then you get a rate, at, standard AA rates. Isn't that how it works? 2,000 rand was charged for a return trip to go from Braamfontein to Soweto and back. 2,000 rand. I mean, what is that? Uber Rainbow. It's not even gold or platinum. It must be Uber Rainbow with all the colors. Right? 2,000 rand Ramfontein to Soweto and back. Somebody actually filled in a claim and expected to be paid.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. This is Breakfast with
This is Breakfast. So I continue. The voices in my head are real. We spoke in our political desk, of course, with Alan Beasley from Action SA. And just in case you missed some of the exchanges that happened around the National Youth Development Agency before SCOPA this past week, I want you to listen now to the EFF MP Sihle Lonzi, who was raising serious questions around how public funds are being used. So essentially what has happened is the chairperson, one Dr. Sunshine Miende, was sent questions by a Sunday Times journalist, and instead of responding to them, she then applied for a gag order, claiming that she was being harassed by the journalist, who simply wanted accountability on a number of issues. If you look at what she was being asked, it's quite extraordinary that this step was taken. So MPs wanted to know, because in court papers, she said in the gag application, in the gag order, she said this was in her personal capacity. So the MPs wanted to know who was paying for it. And then she then says to the MPs, of course the NYDA must be paying for it because this harassment happened to her because she was chair of the entity. Do you see the disjuncture? So the EFF MP Sihle Lonzi asked this of Miende.
Does the NYDA have a policy about how law firms are appointed to represent the NYDA? Is there like let's say it's not you, let's say a service provider is taking the NYDA to court because they didn't win the tender or whatever, I don't know, and then they take you to court. How does the NYDA then decide that out of these 50 or 40 or 30 law firms that are in our role, we want this one to come and represent us?
Chair, can I request the CFO respond to that? I'm not the one who's responding to issues. Maybe through your CEO, I'm sorry. CEO, then CFO.
So she says, so the MP wants to know, okay, so how did you appoint this law firm? You know, because we need to know if the NYDA is paying for it, how did we get there? Whose decision was this? How did this happen? She says, I can't answer that question. The CFO must answer that question. And so what did the CFO had to say? Have a listen.
Thank you very much, Chair. The process is run by the legal services. There is a panel that's appointed. The legal services division within corporate services does the process internally.
So what is the process?
May I ask the executive director of corporate services who looks after legal services to outline? Thank you.
You see it so far. The chair won't answer. She says, no, ask the CFO. The CFO says, no. There's a process. Legal is responsible for that. And what did legal have to say? This is their answer, and that involved essentially now the SCOPA chair, Songezo Zibi, having to step in because of the answers they were getting.
Process. So what we'll do, we'll then send an RFQ to SCM using the same panel. They need to quote us before they can be allocated.
Thank you. Did you send an RFQ for the law firm that is representing the board chair?
I'm not too sure.
But they said you are the one who runs this thing is legal. So who must respond to me? Because the chair said I must give the question to the CFO. The CFO says this thing is being run by legal. And now you are saying you must release an RFQ as legal. And I'm asking you a very simple and straightforward question. Was an RFQ released for the law firm that is representing the board chair in their case against Sunday Times? So who must respond to me now? Because you are giving it to someone else.
Chairperson, I'm not privy to this information.
So who must respond?
Thank you, Chair. Currently, the person that is responsible for that is the legal manager. She's not available at the moment. We can request that she responds.
No. You're not going to run away from this question. I'm not asking about an individual. I'm asking about a process.
Right? There must be a request for quotes, the RFQ. Was there one? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Angaz. And these are the people that are tasked with helping our young people find jobs.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
For many South African women, a routine trip to collect their monthly contraceptives has become increasingly frustrating. Ongoing production disruptions at Aspen Pharmacare have led to shortages of several commonly used state-subsidized oral contraceptives, leaving clinics and pharmacies across the country struggling to meet demand. So the Department of Health says some of these are now in limited supply, and it's raised concerns about access to reproductive health care for thousands of women. Today marks 71 years since the adoption of the Freedom Charter, one of the most influential documents in South African history. It was on the 26th of June in 1955. Thousands of delegates gathering in Kliptown to declare a bold vision for what the country would look like under democracy. And a happy 33rd birthday to Ariana Grande, born on this day in 1993.
702
Weather.
This EWN weather is brought to you by Samsung Air Conditioners. Stay warm your way. Temperatures in Joburg today peaking at 19 degrees. Pretoria, your high is 21, 18 in Vereeniging. So a fine day in store for Gauteng. Cape Town also fine with a light breeze. 21 degrees is your maximum there, and it's 25 for Durban.
Yeah, winter. A dozen layers of clothes just to feel warm. And the aircon wars at the office never end. But when you get home, Samsung air conditioners bring you efficient heating, ensuring tailored and family-friendly comfort indoors. So stay warm your way this winter. Shop for your perfect fit at Samsung stores, participating retailers, or speak to a friendly installer today.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, Bongani, we've got an accident reported on the M1 North. It happened right near the 11th Avenue exit, causing delays from the Kilani Bends. Please be on the lookout there. There's about a 20-minute hold-up. If you are traveling on the N1 North towards the Fourways area, do expect delays coming out of Malibongwe Drive. Peak time delays there. There's also peak time delays on the N3 North between the Airlines turnoff and Van Buren Road. I'll have more details coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If your regular plumber was becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 43-year-old Gloria an unbelievable 513 Rand on her 2024 Audi Q3. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Hi, this is Anlia Itzebet, Hollywood Bets brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The 2026 Jazz for Young People is brought to you by the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Bring your family, friends to this exciting family-friendly concert curated by the young, for the young, all in support of fundraising for the music department of the National School of the Arts. It's a day to be filled with great music, delicious food, arts and crafts, a dedicated kiddies corner, live performances, Msaki, the NSA Band, Vuyo Viwe, the Music Academy of Gauteng, East Rand School of the Arts, and many more talented young performers, happening on the 25th of July at the National School of the Arts in Bromfontein. Tickets are selling fast on Quicket. Jazz for Young People. Do good for a worthy cause.
Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a guaranteed premium for 12 months even if you claim? For electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Are you a legal practitioner looking to do your mediation course?
Come and train in mediation with the Law Society of South Africa, the preferred leader in legal education with over 35 years of experience. We also offer advanced training, specialized skills development, and continuous legal education to ensure legal practitioners excel with competence and integrity. Stay ahead in your profession. Explore more courses at lssa.org.za. The Law Society of South Africa, leaders in legal education.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
20 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'm sorry I can't come to work today. I'm feeling a little under the weather. How does an employer generally believe an employee who makes such a claim? Well, a doctor's note should suffice. But that question has been thrust into the spotlight at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. In March this year, the commission made it clear it would not tolerate witnesses calling in sick, particularly on the mornings they are due to testify. We've seen that, of course, with the political fixer Brown Mokgotsi. But more recently, the Medicare 24 CEO Mike van Wyk could not testify because his legal team informed the commission he was in hospital following panic attacks. And yet another witness, Suleiman Karim, did not appear, his legal representatives saying he was unwell. The commission raising concerns yesterday that in particular with Suleiman, he always seems to be unwell when he is due to testify. Contrast that, will you, with a tragedy that occurred at the company Cartrack recently, where an employee who fell ill died in a toilet cubicle. Her family alleges she was not taken seriously by the employer. Who's right? Who's wrong? How are we to dice it? We're joined by two guests this morning. Ulrich Roux is a familiar voice on the station, an attorney and a commentator on legal matters, but also Dr. Brenda Kubeka-Chauke, who's a medical doctor, but also an ethicist with an ethics degree from Harvard University. And I'll start with you, Dr. Kubeka. Thank you firstly for your time at such short notice for joining us. Very broadly, how credible is the typical sick note an employee receives from their employer?
Morning, Bongani, and thank you for having me. The most important thing is that there are ethical guidelines with regards to the issuing of sick notes from the Health Professions Council. And the valid sick note must be issued by a registered medical practitioner, and it must reflect the registration number of the medical practitioner. And I think what is important is that patients also have a right to confidentiality. So what goes into the sick note, also the patient has to agree whether what they suffer from gets disclosed or not. But all in all, the important thing is that those sick notes are issued, and there are reasons for that. One is to protect the patient, and then secondly, it could also be to protect, let's say in a workplace, an employer or other colleagues, especially if they suffer from, let's say, communicable diseases like we saw during the COVID-19 pandemic.
But, I mean, I would hope this is not a widespread practice, but it would appear, at least in terms of stories in the public domain, that sometimes people are able to persuade a health practitioner and convince them of illness, even perhaps when they're perfectly fine.
Yes, so a sick note is based on the medical assessment and a medical opinion. But when practitioners are persuaded to falsify information, that is an ethical practice, and they could be held accountable at the HPCSA. So
is there a way to know?
The way to know, let's say if an employer, for an example, they have a query, they want to confirm whether the sick note is valid or not, it's basically to communicate with the health practitioner. Because what we have seen as well is that there are sick notes that are being sold by whether people employed by, the health institutions or the private practitioners, etc. And those actually circulate out there without the practitioner, knowing about it, or the health institution actually knowing about it. So there's also a criminal element that I think is rife in South Africa.
Doctor, I'll ask you to stay on the line. Let's bring in the legal side now. Ulrich Rue, this is such a difficult area to figure out. How does an employer know that the document being presented to them is indeed from the health practitioner? Dr. Kubeka has given us guidelines in terms of registration numbers and so on, or practice numbers. But if there is collusion between the patient and their healthcare provider, how is an employer to know?
Hi, Bongani. Thank you for having me. Well, certainly on the face of it, if a medical certificate or medical letter looks to comply with all of the requirements as the doctor now set out, then it should be accepted. But obviously, if there's a pattern that develops, in other words, an employee misses work on a regular basis, and it is just the same doctor and the same sort of diagnosis every time, then it could warrant an investigation by the employer into whether the legal or the medical letter or certificate is indeed a valid one. Now, the employer can investigate it further. The employer could possibly, if they have further evidence that the doctor and the employee are colluding, call for disciplinary hearing and then possibly call for an affidavit from the doctor or for him to come and testify at that disciplinary hearing. Now, in our courts, we see it quite regularly that medical notes are handed up to excuse a person from a court appearance. And it's the same with a presiding officer, be it a magistrate or a judge. They could scrutinize that medical letter, and they could very well conduct an investigation in terms of Section 342A of the Criminal Procedure Act into the validity of that medical letter, and then call for the doctor to come and testify and to confirm any concerns that the court may have, and obviously the court can make a finding on that. I think, especially with the Madlanga Commission, it seems as if Matthew Chaskelson, the evidence leader, is really instilling a substantial amount of fear in these witnesses, because there's been a number of cases where medical letters or medical conditions are preferred by the witnesses, and in an attempt for them to avoid having to testify. Now, we heard him say yesterday as well that they will be investigating this further, and they reserve their right, should they find that Mr. Suleiman Karim is in fact not suffering from a valid medical condition, that they issue a warrant for his arrest to bring him before the commission. So to go back a bit, and I thought about it this morning, when I went to university, and I won't disclose how long ago that was, but there was a certain doctor close to our university who just issued medical notes, left, right, and center for students to miss their exams. And the university, in fact, then conducted an investigation, and a ruling was made that no further medical notes will be accepted from that doctor. So it certainly is a reality, both in the employer-employee world, as well as in our courts, as well as in education facilities. And unfortunately, people need to realize that if they are not honest in terms of certain medical conditions, that there could be a price to pay. And as you correctly point out, it's a fine balance to strike. And, the absolute tragedy with the car track incident, where it certainly seems as if that employee was suffering from severe medical impairments, and she was forced to still attend to work. Whereas, in the case of Mr. Suleiman Karim, this is the third time that he has now missed his testimony as a result of alleged medical impairment. But every incident, I think, deserves its own investigation and must be adjudicated on its own merits. And obviously, if it is found by whatever authority it is in front of that, there hasn't been strict compliance and there's possible fraud, then further steps should be taken.
All right, Ulrich, I appreciate your opinions on this and your views on this. Dr. Kubeka Chauka, I'll let you have the last word. I mean, to be clear, of course, this is not in any way the majority of healthcare providers who would, collude with people in this way. And as Ulrich just said there's a penalty to pay if they are found guilty.
Yes. I think what is important, especially speaking as a medical practitioner, is the duty that medical practitioners have, not just to their patients, but to the society. And if we're looking at the Madlanga Commission and the issues around justice and accountability, so there is that duty, and where there is collusion that prevents the law to actually, exercise its duty, then there must be levels of accountability. But what is important is knowing that there are channels of reporting. Let's say if practitioners are suspected to be colluding with patients, and as indicated earlier on, that can be investigated. And practitioners do account to the Health Professions Council, so complaints can be directed to the Health Professions Council as well to investigate. And if practitioners are found guilty on professional conduct, they will face whatever
censure may apply.
Decided in the sanctions that may apply.
All right. Appreciate your time, Dr. Kubeka Chauke, a medical doctor and ethicist.
EWN Business.
Producer inflation, Mutewa, do we have a good number?
Not at all, Bongani. South Africa's producer inflation surged to 7.8% year on year in May, up from 4.8% in April. Data from Stats SA shows the producer price index increased by 2.5% month on month in May. Producer inflation measures the prices from the manufacturing sector before they reach retail shelves. South Africa's factory gate inflation was driven overwhelmingly by soaring fuel and petrol prices, which were pushed up by the war in Iran, while food and agricultural prices remained relatively subdued. Now, this is the third month that this producer inflation print has picked up and marks the steepest climb since April of 2023. So it's costing more for manufacturers to make some of our favorite products.
All right, let's look at your indicators. I'd imagine the price of oil falling. And long may it continue to fall.
The price of oil has fallen to levels last seen before the US and Israel bombed Iran as shipping resumes on the vital Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude prices have also plunged to about $72 a barrel. At this hour, the rand is 16 rand 52 against the US dollar, 18 rand 80 against the euro, 21 rand 80 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,013 an ounce. It's lower this morning. Platinum down 1.5% at $1,574. Brent crude now down 2% this morning at $73 a barrel. More business after 8.
Attacks on journalists and the media unacceptable. Swiso Zulu, good morning.
So says the South African National Editors Forum. Bongani, good morning. And it says that it's concerned about a growing trend of politicians attacking journalists over unfavorable coverage. The forum yesterday condemned a vitriolic attack by the MK party on Business Day political editor Hajra Omaji after her reporting on alleged links between former President Jacob Zuma and an anti-illegal immigrant protest. Carlo Peterson has more.
SANEF says Hajra Omaji acted within the press code and has urged political parties and movements to raise complaints through formal channels rather than targeting reporters. The forum's executive director, Reggie Muhalusi, warned such attacks undermine media freedom and democratic accountability.
We have seen a rise in incidents where journalists who ask questions, who ask for facts, are being targeted. As the South African National Editors Forum, we will continue to condemn the attacks on journalists in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape and Gauteng.
The MK party has denied any link to intimidation, saying it supports peaceful protest. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
KwaZulu-Natal Premier Thamsanqa Ntuli has warned groups demonstrating against illegal migration to be wary of unsolicited political interference. Ntuli was speaking at the KZN Provincial Government Summit on illegal immigration in Durban yesterday. The summit discussed recent protests which prompted the looming June 30 deadline for undocumented migrants to leave the country.
I understand that there are forces, opportunists, that are seeing this platform as a platform to profile themselves. When we're dealing with such a sensitive matter, we need to be responsible. We must be responsible.
Ntuli says locals must also be allowed to participate in addressing the crisis as it directly affects them.
Migration is not a matter of government that government can manage alone. And it is not a matter to be handled by enforcement agencies in isolation from communities. Communities also have a role to play.
The city of Joburg has announced plans to boost its workforce by 1,700 employees, bringing manpower to at least 40,000 in the metro. The plans have been outlined in the city's latest budget plans as it continues to battle cash flow pressure. 695 of the posts are earmarked for municipal and senior management positions, while the rest will be filled by other roles. The hiring plans come amid a warning from Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana that the city's wage bill is becoming unsustainable. Annelita Fandese reports.
National Treasury says it's less concerned about filling funded vacancies and more about the long-term impact of wage agreements negotiated with labour unions. In the city's budget plans, senior managers are set to earn total remuneration packages ranging from 1.9 million rand to 4.4 million rand annually, including bonuses and allowances. In an April letter to Johannesburg Mayor Dada Morero, Godongwana threatened to withhold state funding unless the city reconsidered a planned 10.3 billion rand increase in employee compensation. Since Godongwana sent this letter to Morero, the city has been in talks with National Treasury about its financial management. Annelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And Russia says its air defenses have shot down 660 Ukrainian drones overnight, one of the highest figures since it started the war with Ukraine. Drones were destroyed over more than a dozen regions, including the Russian capital and the annexed Crimean Peninsula, the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Ukraine has stepped up its long-range drone strikes campaign against Russia in recent months, particularly targeting energy infrastructure with the aim of depriving the Kremlin of a vital source of revenue to fund its war efforts now in its fifth year. A Ukrainian attack caused a fire last week at a refinery in the southeast of Moscow. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 6 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 19 and 21.
And in the traffic in Kempton Park, we've got an accident on the R21 South that happened near the OR Tambo Airport. Delays coming out of Atlas Road while travelling on the N3 North, queuing traffic between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road due to roadworks.
The top story this hour: South African editors are concerned about a growing trend of politicians attacking journalists.
Whether you're following every match or just the ones that matter most, stay connected to 702 Cape Talk and EWN.co.za to stay connected to the world's greatest game.
This winter is a cold one, Mzansi. Keep the heat in and the cold out with Cash Build. Save on electricity and keep your home warm with our top quality ceiling insulation. Plus, upgrade to our energy efficient geysers and geyser blankets to keep your water hot for longer. Don't turn into an ice block this winter. Visit your nearest Cash Build store for quality insulation and energy efficient geysers. Cash Build.
John, where are you rushing to?
Sure, I'm off to SARS. I need to check if I must file.
Wait! SARS sends auto assessment notices from 1 to 12 July.
Done. Just like that?
Yes. If you get a notice of assessment, check it. If it's correct, you're done. If it's incorrect or you did not receive one, file from 13 July on e-filing or the SARS Mobi app.
I could already be done.
This filing season, experience the power of done. Expect your auto assessment notice from 1 to 12 July or file from 13 July via e-filing or the SARS Mobi app. Go to sars.gov.za. SARS, at your service.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Such an interesting conversation regarding the invalid sick notes. I think it's really minority of staff or individuals that play this game and use illegal sick notes, sometimes even, to testify. But I think we should send a message out to the doctors that create these false sick notes and, kind of explain to them, what they're doing is wrong, as much as they probably understand this, but they're actually helping, individuals regress in life. And we should send a message out to staff and employee individuals that also, play this game, that they're actually regressing in life by doing things like this.
Morning, Bongani. It's Dr. Charlotte in Roodepoort. I'm glad that they raised the issue of medical certificates with students. I'm in academia, and we do scrutinize the medical certificates that students actually submit. As they were talking, I started thinking about the issue. And often when there is a trend from a particular doctor, it would easily come forth because we do have ethical students that would come and inform us that this particular doctor is selling medical certificates. So yeah, it is an issue out there. Thank you. Great show.
Morning, Bongani. Fascinating chat about employees handing sick notes into employers. I've had in the past multiple sick notes from a doctor saying that Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so informed me that they were ill from this date to that date, i.e. backdated, and here with sick note. Surely that's not ethical. Thank you very much.
Morning, Bongani. There is a certain doctor where I stay. We call him Dr. Skebeng. If you go to his practice, like you get separated. Those who want sick notes on the other side, those who are sick on the other side, and those who wants to withdraw like the medical aid money on the other side. Everyone knows about him. And this side, most of these companies decide they don't accept his letter.
What? Those who want sick notes this side, those who are actually sick this side, and then those who want to get money from the medical aid on that side. So what? He then, I suppose, submits a fraudulent claim to the medical aid. The medical aid pays him for a consultation over something that isn't real, and presumably he splits the money with the patient. Jeepers creepers. I mean, because the danger of this, think of how often you've gone to the police to register a crime, not because you believe there's going to be an investigation, but just because you want the case number for insurance purposes. You know the officer's not going to do anything about it, right? We don't want to get to the point where medical certificates are meaningless. I mean, backdated certificates, surely that would be a problem. And once again, let me be clear, wherever this thing may pop up, it is by far the minority of healthcare practitioners who would give up, the years it takes to become a qualified doctor, especially if you're a specialist or something. Goodness me, why would you risk that over somebody's silly sick note?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Itumeleng. Itumeleng, please, would you give us today's answer?
The answer is 33.
33. 33. Itumeleng, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. There you have it. Itumeleng says the answer is 33. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Let's get straight into the world of sport. Of course, Cindy Paluta, there is another World Cup on the go, and even there, South Africa's doing well.
Yes, we
We're
are.
pleased to say.
Yes, we are. And it was wonderful to see Tasman Brits back in form last night. She smashed a maiden T20 century as the Proteas women thrashed Netherlands by 88 runs at the T20 World Cup. South Africa posting 208 for 1. Brits was unbeaten on 114 from 69. She's also the first woman to hit a T20 international century at Bristol.
I don't look at those things, to be honest. I mean, it's nice achievement, but as cliche as what it sounds, at the end of the day, I just want us to win a World Cup. So if I can contribute in any sense, I'm all in.
Proteas next play Bangladesh on Sunday. Yesterday, India beat Bangladesh by 5 wickets to stay second in that group. Men's Test cricket, New Zealand 361 for 4 stumps on day one of the deciding third test with England. Conway made 157, Latham 151, while in the West Indies, Sri Lanka 308 all out on day one of the first test. And the FIA has declared a heat hazard for the Austrian Grand Prix with temperatures expected in the late 30s. Drivers must either wear a mandated liquid-cooled vest or carry an extra 5 kg kgs of ballast in their cars. Championship leader Kimi Antonelli, who was forced to retire in the last race, is looking forward to it.
I was still happy with the race, and unfortunately these things happen. You know, the most important is how you bounce back, and I'm sure the team has been working super hard, and they've been trying to fix this issue. And on my side, you know, it's, again, different weekend, different track, new challenge. It's going to be very warm, and it's not an easy track, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
MotoGP this weekend in the Netherlands.
The EWN World Cup Desk. The latest scores, the biggest stories, and the moments everyone's talking about.
And the referee blows his whistle. Côte d'Ivoire, for the first time in their World Cup history, are through to the knockout stages.
Well, Côte d'Ivoire is the third African side through to the knockouts after beating Curaçao 2-0. Both goals from Nicolas Pepe. Ivory Coast will now battle either Norway or France. For Curaçao, the smallest team at the World Cup, the fairy tale's over. But the goalkeeper, Aloy Room, says not all is lost.
This is a great experience for us. You know, what I said, this is a long journey. You know, it started a long time ago. And now we're here, you know, and we wanted to show the world what we can do. And I think we brought a lot of joy to the tournament, spirit, fight. And that we can be proud of. And I think today we also showed that we can play on the highest stage. Of course, this is going to bring a lot of exposure to Curaçao. You know, the whole world knows who we are. Everybody's proud for Curaçao, so I think that's going to help.
Morocco was the first African team through to the knockouts. They now faced Netherlands after Netherlands beat Tunisia 3-1. Ecuador went from the brink of elimination to qualifying for the knockouts with a shock 2-1 win over Germany. Germany had led in the opening 2 minutes of that game through Sane. Then 7 minutes later, Ecuador equalised and sealed the win in the 77th minute. Ecuador play England in the last 32. Japan have a tough task. A goalless game with Sweden means a one-all game with Sweden means they battle Brazil in the last 32. Sweden waits to see if they play Norway or France. The USA suffered their first loss going down to Turkey at 3-2. They play Bosnia-Herzegovina in the knockouts. Australia already through, finished goalless with Paraguay. Paraguay finished third and waits to see if their World Cup is over. Tonight, Senegal must beat Iraq if they hope to be the fourth African team through. Also at 9 p.m. in Group I, Norway and France, both unbeaten to battle. Group H still wide open. That'll be decided tomorrow at 2 a.m. with Spain against Uruguay and Cabo Verde against Saudi Arabia. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
From kickoff to the final whistle, this is the EWN World Cup Desk.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tani. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds, all on the Naked app. There we go, Liesel. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. A crash on the R21, Amo.
Bongani, it's really a horrible one. It happened right after Atlas Road. It's causing heavy delays at this moment coming out of Pomona Road, about a 20-minute hold up there. Please be on the lookout. If you want to use the N12 West, unfortunately, we've got another accident scene. It happened near the R21. It's also causing heavy delays coming out of Atlas Road. So please try to avoid. Maybe the N17 can be your best route at this point. Then if you're traveling on the Mark 1 North, we still have got that accident that happened right near 11th Avenue you delays from the Killarney Bends, also causing about a 15-minute hold up there. Please approach with care. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and to make life easy. And that 470-litre boot is ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for the limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
So the other day I get this call from an insurance company. The lady asked me if I'm comfortable with my excess. I said, excess? Well, according to my therapist, I'm apparently a little too comfortable. But sometimes you just need to make sure. You know what I mean? She just put down the phone. I don't get it.
Don't get that insurance. Get Pineapple. It's easy to get and online. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurance authorized FSP. T's and C's apply.
This July, experience a world premiere unlike anything Johannesburg has seen before. The Bacchae, an African choral ballet, is a first-of-its-kind collaboration between Joburg Ballet, UJ Arts and Culture, the acclaimed University of Johannesburg Choir, and a live chamber orchestra from the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra. It's a bold reimagining of Euripides, that timeless classic, spectacular production fusing ballet, African choral music and live orchestral performance into one unforgettable theatrical event. You can see it from the 3rd to the 12th of July at the Mandela Theatre at the Joburg Theatre. Book now at web tickets. The Bacchae, an African choral ballet, a landmark world premiere. Don't miss it.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 33, Murudi, what's the question?
Morning, Bongani. The question is, how old is Ariana Grande turning today?
Are you a fan?
Yes.
Really? I live with a 17-year-old fan of Ariana Grande. I can't say I am, but shame, she can sing, Mwanabat.
Yeah.
Murudi, you walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. Here is the fantastic, if you're 17, Ariana Grande, Dangerous Woman.
Nothing to prove, I'm bulletproofing. Know what I'm doing. The way we're moving, like introducing us to a new thing. I wanna save it for later. The taste of flavor, cause I'm a taker, cause I'm a giver. It's only nature, I live for danger.
Happy birthday, Ariana Grande. Now, if your child aftercare costs were becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 63-year-old Almero 417 Rand on his 2021 Ford Ranger. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, you can ask them for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. So that's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Catch the Springboks live at Ellis Park Stadium this year. Lions fans, get ready. Secure your all-inclusive Lions membership package to watch the Springboks versus England and the All Blacks. Or from just 950 Rand, get your Lions-only package and unlock access to every Lions match at Ellis Park. All packages include the massive clash between the Lions and the All Blacks this August. Memberships are available now at Ticket Pro or through our stadium ticket office. Visit lionsrugby.co.za for package options. Own the season and get behind your team.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
OUTsurance can't improve your record for leg day. But they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. Get a quote today, and if OUTsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Time now to catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
I love the first story about tech and automation. I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, so there is a South African by the name of Banele Ndaba, who's a comedian, fashion personality, and various other things. And he was in Atlanta. I think he's there for the World Cup, I would imagine. And he's walking on the streets and he needs to catch a ride somewhere. And instead of getting an Uber, he catches something called a Waymo, which is an autonomous car, which is run by the Alphabet Group, you know, Google and all that kind of stuff. And he then documents the whole process about where he gets in and what he does in the back of the seat and plays the music and how this car talks to him. And there's nobody in the front, and the only person in the car is himself, which is really fascinating, brilliant technology. And, you know, some people are saying, yes, this is wonderful. It must come to South Africa. There's many things we would love to automate here where we don't necessarily need people involved anymore. But let's take a listen to him getting into the Waymo, and then we'll come back after that.
So that's a Waymo. India ihambela, there's no driver inside. Angiyithembi lento. But you know what? I'm gonna do it because it's not like America says every week or now and again. Come on, South. Get inspired, man. Abanye abantu baphila nice la ngaphandle. I think this is it.
Hello, Andrew.
Hi, Waymo. Hello.
Questions. Press the support button to speak with the support.
All right, ngiyakuzwa ke Omi. Lalela, untswem kakhulu, guys.
And your seat upright are only on when you're chatting with us or activate them. So sing your heart out. We can't hear you.
Sing your heart out, she says.
And of course,
and
he proceeds, right? And he yells at the top of his voice. So what it is he in fact requests an Uber, and it's the Waymo that shows up. So I don't know if they get an option to choose one with a human driver or a driverless one, but nonetheless, he gets into this driverless car, and I just thought it was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Now, listen to this, hey? It says here there were 1,429 Waymo accidents reported between July 2021 and November 2025. Now, not all these accidents were necessarily caused by a Waymo vehicle. Injuries and fatalities, there have been 117 injuries and 2 fatalities reported in relation to those accidents. So, would you get into a car like this? Would you want something like this here in South Africa? And what other things would you love to see automated in South Africa? So you don't have to deal with a service person or whatever it may be. You just go, it's automated, and you do what you need to do. What other things do you think could be automated here?
In South Africa? Or maybe we can also ask, what have you seen, overseas or in another country that you think, wow, we don't have that back home? I'd love to bring that to South Africa. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
702.
702. Feedback.
With Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda Matiso, a driverless car?
No.
Why?
What if it just goes rogue and then it just starts driving fast? Do I have the option to take control? Like, there's just so many things that I'm just thinking of. I hate not being in control.
My worry is the other drivers. I mean, in Johannesburg, you have to drive your car and the vehicles around you. Yesterday, picture this scenario. I'm driving, so we're parallel, right?
Yeah.
So the other driver that I'm going to be describing is on a smaller sort of service road. I'm on the main one. We're driving parallel towards each other. I get to a traffic light first before he does, and it allows me to turn. It goes green. So I'm turning left, right?
Right.
He must stop so as to not collide with me. There's a stop sign. He doesn't stop, and it's one of those big buckies with those bars at the front.
Yeah.
We were inches from a crash.
You see.
And because I expected him to stop and he didn't. We were inches from a crash. But of course, if I'm being fair to him, the stop sign markings on the tar were faded.
Also, Bongs, I mean, our taxi drivers, how many times have you heard our 702 landers saying, guys, we need to have a conversation about how they drive? Yeah, wow, Bongs. That's a true one. Maybe the
Shambok.
Enough of that. More of what the people are saying about the show. Many reacting to the sick note conversation you had with a doctor and lawyer, and saying many employers and people who work in the education sector saying we've gotten to the point where we have to scrutinize and look into certain sick notes because a particular doctor has a trend of sending people sick notes. So it's becoming a serious problem, especially now that we have people at the Madlanga Commission, like the Northwest businessman Karim Suleiman, who's now going under the independent medical assessment. And it just shows how, this is becoming a serious situation, Bongs. But then there's a car track.
I mean, the family claims she wasn't believed.
Exactly. So, And also, Muteo asked, which degree did your parent advise you to do? And did you do it? Did you follow through? Are you guys doctors? Are you guys pilots? Are you guys engineers?
Yeah. Listen, we'll continue that work-related conversation because I think we place undue pressure on youngsters to select careers that even we as the parents couldn't do if we are telling the truth, right? Be an actuarial scientist. Meantime, what were my maths or accounting marks? Time for EWN.
This is EWN.
The national dialogue meant to improve people's lives seems to be doing the opposite, and a major anti-illegal immigration march has been planned for today in Joburg. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The national dialogue is facing intensifying scrutiny amid growing concerns over secrecy, governance failures, and internal power struggles that threaten to derail the process. The legitimacy of its management committee remains under a cloud following a disputed March election, with members raising concerns over alleged slate voting, changes to voting procedures, and a lack of an accessible voters' roll. It's understood an independent investigation led by former CCMA Director Nareen Khan has been completed, but its findings have not been released. Limakatso Leshuro has the details.
The governance crisis within the more than 100-member steering committee has deepened, with an ethics committee yet to be established, no whistleblower framework in place, conflict of interest rules are still outstanding, and a comprehensive governance framework yet to be adopted. Meanwhile, internal disputes have continued to disrupt meetings on multiple occasions. During a steering committee meeting this past Monday, an attempt was made to remove 9 members before proceedings could begin. The members have participated in the national dialogue for months, but have still not received formal appointment letters from President Cyril Ramaphosa. Critics believe the timing of the Monday meeting that descended into chaos was deliberate, as the next agenda item was a proposal to dissolve an allegedly self-appointed MENCO. The dispute has now escalated, with affected members said to be preparing a court challenge, while efforts to establish a governance task team has also stalled. Timakato Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
The first major anti-illegal immigration march ahead of the informal June 30th deadline is set to get underway in Johannesburg today. About 1,000 Operation Dudula supporters are expected to march through the inner city to China Shopping Centre and Dragon Dragon City to demand compliance with South Africa's labour laws. The demonstration comes as law enforcement agencies remain on high alert amid concerns over possible tensions linked to June 30th. Mongezi Koko reports.
The march will begin at Mary Fitzgerald Square in Newtown before making its way through Joburg CBD. Organisers are expected to hand over memorandums at China Shopping Centre and Dragon City before returning to the gathering point later this afternoon. The Johannesburg Metro Police Department says the gathering has been approved and officers, together with the South African Police Service, will be deployed to manage traffic, monitor the procession and maintain public order. Motorists are advised to expect traffic disruptions around Mary Fitzgerald Square, Main Reef Road, China Shopping Centre and Dragon City throughout the day. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Self-proclaimed police informant Tumelo Nku will return to the Madanga Commission this morning to continue testifying about his questionable presence at a controversial 2021 drug bust. Nku claims he tipped Gauteng Traffic Police Inspector Samuel Mashaba about a truck moving more than 700 kilograms of cocaine from Durban to Johannesburg. Both Mashaba and Nku were, however, arrested on the scene, allegedly by Crime Intelligence Senior Cop Firoz Khan, on suspicion that they were actually attempting to steal the drugs. Justice Mbuyiseli Matlanga spent about 2 hours yesterday asking Nku why he had 60,000 rand in cash at the crime scene.
Is the petty cash the 60,000 rand or is the petty cash something else?
The 60,000 rand.
Petty cash 60,000 rand for an individual?
No, not for an individual.
Mr. Nku, who is an individual, he calls 60,000 rand petty cash?
No, Chair. It was petty cash for the company. It was not my money.
And an attack on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz has led to the UN to suspend efforts to evacuate trapped sailors. The New York Times and other U.S. media reported that Iran struck a container ship in the strait, and the Iranian agency that claims to regulate traffic there issued a warning after the incident. Iran imposed a blockade of the strait during the war, sparking a global economic shock, and has since said it plans to introduce what it terms maritime services fees. The latest developments may complicate negotiations between the U.S. and Iran, which are trying to forge a final agreement after signing a memorandum of understanding to end the conflict that started in late February. Yesterday's attack prompted the Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, which is a UN agency responsible for marine safety, to announce the suspension of efforts to evacuate about 600 vessels and their crews that are trapped by the war. Gold is trading at $3,998.80 an ounce. The rand is at 16.51 to the dollar, 21.80 to the pound, 18.79 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $73.75 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway. This is in Mountain View. An accident reported there right near Eskom Patlele Drive, causing delays. There's also queuing traffic along the R21 South in Kempton Park, approaching Atlas Road. That's due to an accident.
And in your sport, Tasman Brits hits a maiden T20 international century as the Proteas women beat the Netherlands by 88 runs at the T20 World Cup. Ivory Coast, the third African team through to the knockouts of the World Cup. Ecuador shocked Germany 2-1 to advance, while Japan now know they have to battle Brazil. And Kimi Antonelli has put the last race behind him and is focused for Austria this weekend.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 19 and 21 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: the national dialogue is facing intensifying scrutiny amid growing concerns over secrecy, governance failures, and an internal power struggle that threatens to derail the process.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast on this Friday. It's the 26th of June, the year of our Lord 2026. So much to talk about this morning. I don't know if you remember the clips we played you from SCOPA's hearings into the National Youth Development Agency, where the chair is suing a journalist who is trying to hold her accountable on allegations she has received. Instead of responding, the chair has tried to get a gag order against the journalist. So before SCOPA, the NYDA was asked, who's paying for this? Who is paying so you don't have to account to journalists? Angaz. It just... Now we are hearing from EWN, the National Dialogue. Remember, this was the big project to get South Africa talking again. For once, Cyril Ramaphosa and Thabo Mbeki on the same page. Now, there are questions being raised about where the money is going and who is a part of what decision-making part of it. We told you earlier about a claim from somebody who wanted to be paid 2,000 Rand, Muteo, to go from Braamfontein to Soweto and back. Clearly not at standard AA rates. Are those standard NASA rates? Right? What's the galactic thing in Star Wars? What are they called? Not Star Wars, Star Trek. Right? What do they all work for? You know, the thing that sends them, the organization, what are they called? The galactic, because it's clearly not AA rates, is it?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I'm looking for the NASA of not Star Wars, Star Trek, right?
Federation of Planets?
Yes, there we go. Must be a standard Federation of Planet rates, not AA rates. Kabazala wants to know, what's that service you would like to see automated? You don't want to deal with the human behind it. A machine must just take care of it. We're talking, of course, about this viral video of this young South African in Atlanta who gets into a self-driving e-hailing vehicle. How comfortable would you be in a self-driving vehicle? It sounds lovely. Imagine not having to drive anywhere. You still get into your own vehicle and you don't have to drive it anywhere. You just sit in the back and read the newspaper. Mateo, would you trust that?
I don't think I'd be that relaxed to read a newspaper. I think the first time I tried, I'd probably do like a very, very short trip.
Yeah. Initially, I think, yes, there'd be nerves, rightly so. But once you get used to it and assuming nothing goes wrong,
it would be one of the greatest conveniences.
Would you tell it to avoid Louis Botha Avenue?
Or the CBD?
You know? Stay on, I don't know, the M1 or something like that.
Yeah, no, it would have to be roads where I know I won't have any troubles.
No Jan Smuts for this thing. And is there technology that you've seen elsewhere that you think you'd like to bring to South Africa? Why don't you, what is it? Pradem Shantasias.
Shut up. So when I first got to Turkey, the thing that amazed me then was grocery delivery, because we didn't have it in mass here.
So when was that? That was before COVID, yeah?
2018.
So before we all had 60-60 and...
I was just like, this is a great idea. If anyone does this at home, it's really, really going to skyrocket. And with, of course, COVID, then we were forced to do that.
You know what's fascinating, though, is, and you'll know our consultant for the station is an Australian, or at least lives in Australia. And she's gobsmacked by our food delivery services because that isn't a thing there.
Wow.
You have to pay extraordinary amounts to get food or groceries delivered to your house. And even then, you're not guaranteed same day, never mind 60 minutes.
I'll tell you what's also not a thing that South Africa has that other countries don't. Our banking systems are very sophisticated, like way, way ahead. I remember like banking in Turkey was like rolling back the years, you know. I still had to fill in the slip to deposit. Man, I just know.
Yeah, but that's because part of how our banking has become sophisticated is how we as Gabangs. It has had to become sophisticated because of this Gabangas.
I really do prefer the
Thereby the Malanga Commission of Inquiry.
No, way more won't work here. No, Kabazela and Bongani. No ways. It won't work here. We have taxis, remember, that 10 everywhere, that stop everywhere. No, don't bring way more. No. Thank you, Bongani.
Morning, Bongani and Kabazela. I've seen these delivery robots in the States on videos. I wish we could have those, but knowing South Africa and South Africans, that thing wouldn't survive. Especially if it's made out of metal, I call it won't survive. And just imagine it's on delivery on the 30th of June and it meets a group of people like that's from Willie and Senton.
Good morning, Bongani and the
Wow,
team.
Willie.
I just want to respond to Kabazela's what's gone viral. Away more in South guys. The the hijackings in Gaga South
I am convinced that the entire customer-facing side of the Department of Home Affairs could be automated. Imagine you walk in and there's like a kiosk with a touch screen where you respond to prompts, giving the necessary details. It could have like a little fingerprint scanner instead of the ink and paper nonsense. The machines could even go down for 2 hours for lunch every day, so it wouldn't feel that different, but I feel like it would be much more efficient. And then back office stuff, human beings, absolutely. Have a supervisor, have people there to greet and direct people, no problem with that. But I feel like the customer interface, automated. And this is Kate in Pretoria.
Morning, Bonks. The Department of Home Affairs, that department need to be automated. Definitely. I promise you it's going to work 100% better than what it looks like now. Great show, man. This is John in Primrose.
Definitely, government services need to be automated. Anywhere where you need a service from the government, be at the municipality, home affairs, where you go and pay your utilities or get your utilities fixed, anything that's got to do with the government, the municipality, let it be automated.
Be careful what you wish for, hey? Until the computer says no.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you go to Home Affairs and you're trying to get, documentation, and you're explaining that, no, it was your grandfather who married that grandmother who had another grandmother, and then in 2000 and then when this one died, and that's why you didn't have this document.
Does not
because
want to know all those things.
No.
It's just going to say no.
Mm-mm.
But another issue I have with totally digitizing is I've watched people at ATMs and people take time, eh? People they play Tetris there and they do all sorts of things. I don't know what they're getting up to, but they're not withdrawing money.
I've often found, I haven't, in a while, but I used to find it frustrating that people would go there hoping they had money.
And still
I
check the
knew when
slip.
there was nothing.
Yeah, so where are you going? And you check
and
your
they try
balance by
again,
what-
and they try again, and they
no.
look. I'm like, if you
You
don't know,
don't
you
have
don't,
it, man. It's
and
not
you don't
there.
know, you don't have it.
EWN Traffic.
17 after 8. Who wishes they were in a driverless car? Who wishes they were in a Waymore? The CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between the Elands Interchange and Van Buren Road. This is due to roadworks taking place along this route, so please be on the lookout there. While traveling towards Bedford View, more roadworks are causing delays on the N12 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis Interchange. Heading towards the OR Tambo Airport, heavy traffic volumes on the R21 South. This is due to an accident after Atlas Road, so please be on the lookout there and approach with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Seeing the Outsurance pointsman on your route is that feeling you get when you complete and submit a work project before the deadline. You feel great, don't you? Well, the Outsurance pointsmen are the traffic heroes who ease congestion, helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely. They've done it for 20 years. Just another way you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Are your nails discolored, brittle, crumbly, or appear ragged? Are they thickened or starting to lift off their nail bed? You may have a fungal nail infection, which can lead to discomfort, limit your activities, and have a negative impact on your social life because of the embarrassment. New Turbane Nail treats fungal nail infections by directly killing the fungus. It requires no filing before application and dries in about 30 seconds once applied. Ask your pharmacist about new Turbane Nail and say goodbye to fungal nail infections.
Keep moving through 6 a.m. call times, the rain, dirt tracks, and moving through tight deadlines. Because you move with purpose, from the first stop to the final drop. The Hino 700 truck tractor comes standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty and advanced safety features tailored to your industry. The Hino 700 is built to fuel your business's progress. Hino, all the way.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
Every small business that dares to disrupt the industry deserves a shot at leveling up. Thanks to Nedbank Business Ignite on 702.
Nedbank Business Ignite with 702, recognizing and rewarding small businesses solving real problems, especially the entrepreneurs who have lived them. So real experience turned into a meaningful solution. 200,000 Rand, mentorship, national exposure, and support beyond banking with Simply Biz up for grabs. Today we are talking to Comtronics, who is the finalist, and Alan, of course, is behind this business. Tuli, Alan is solving a really, really interesting problem.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to the listeners. Indeed, if you've been a victim of car jamming, you know that it is a serious problem in South Africa, in shopping centers, in complexes, wherever people park their cars. There's likely someone hanging out there, jamming your vehicle, trying to steal something from your vehicle once you walk away.
All right. Of course, Tuli Makubane, you almost need no introduction, but I've got to do it properly and formally. Founder and director of Mint Fresh Technology Solutions and our business mentor. Alan, of course, as I say, is behind Comtronics. Alan, car jamming, what problem were you having?
So car jamming's been around for a very long time. Since about 2013, we developed products to detect if you're being jammed or not. And it's a real business. It's a real, the modus operandi is so simple. Guys will just use any gate remote, jam your car. You think you've locked your car, you walk away, and they have free access to the vehicle. It is such a simple crime at the moment, and it's a huge problem. We export product all over the world as well.
Sure. I mean, people have said that they made sure that the car was locked, and they really thought the car was locked. Can they open your car even if it is locked?
So that's a difficult one. Most cars, what we call it code technology jamming and hopping. So they can't actually copy your key and then open your vehicle.
Right.
But with the keyless car entries, they are now cloning your key. They can walk next to you in the shopping center and clone your keyless key. And go back to your vehicle, open it, and drive away.
Oh, my word. So how do you solve this problem?
So the manufacturers have come up with a solution. Your key, you are capable of turning your key off when you get out the vehicle and walk away. There is a way to turn the key off. You need to contact your manufacturer regarding that. The other way is to put it in a steel box. Now, you do get a petty cash box would work well if you're at home, because they can grab your car key at home and then drive your car away. It is such a simple way to steal a vehicle. Another way is you can buy these pouches, which are RFID. They basically block signal. So you put your key into a little RFID pouch, and that the criminal can't have access to. It's the same as a credit card. If you're walking in a shopping center, they can claim your credit card.
From the back of your pocket in your wallet or so on. All right, so how are you solving some of these issues? And you deal specifically with the manufacturers, I imagine.
We design and manufacture product. That's what we do in an electronic design and manufacturing facility. And so we design jamming detection products, whether it's 433 megahertz for the average car or GPS jamming detection, because when they steal your car, they fit a GPS jammer into it so that tracker can't track you.
Yeah.
So we now have a unit that will detect if there's GPS jamming. So we're hoping to market that product to all the armed response companies and the tracking companies. And if they drive past a vehicle that's got a jammer in, they potentially know that car's been jammed.
A uniquely South African problem with a South African solution to
as I was saying to Alan earlier, that as long as criminals are busy, he'll remain busy. His business will always be in demand. And as we're chatting earlier, he said they are currently busy. You know, other businesses are struggling at the moment, but they're doing very well. So
congratulations, Alan. Thank you. We can certainly see why you're a finalist in this year's Nedbank Business Ignite.
702. The Worldview
with Adam Gilchrist.
All right, Adam Gilchrist, let's get straight into it. The big story about 24 hours ago, of course, was that devastating earthquake in Venezuela.
Yeah, as we are now seeing the death toll go up, inevitable, I guess, but it was awful given the numbers that could be involved. At the moment, the official death toll is 235 from these two earthquakes, two in quick succession within a minute of each other. In Venezuela, 235 death toll, but some are talking about thousands, potentially even tens of thousands. There are a lot of people who need rescuing from under the rubble. Indeed, the relief effort is being complicated by damage to the main airports, but people are heard shouting from under collapsed buildings. And the rescue teams, joined by residents as well, just trying to dig people out with their hands. And now we're seeing specialist teams, dogs, equipment, etc., offered by Germany, Switzerland, Spain, France, the Netherlands, China, and India, and the United States. The US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says America is sending support. The only thing is, you think, poor Venezuela, a bit like Haiti, you sort of think sometimes, what has that country done to deserve this? Given Venezuela's already reeling from US sanctions, economic collapse, political turmoil, corruption, ineptitude in some cases through government, compounding the problems of an otherwise natural disaster. It's not good for them.
How much more can one country take? Let's go to the Philippines now, the other side of the world. Adam, authorities banning a video game.
Yeah, I know there have been so many conflicting reports on this over the decades. And I remember as a kid, people saying, is Tom and Jerry too violent? Will it make kids more violent in the playground? And take Tom and Jerry and move it through all the TV shows, films, games, cartoons. So here we have the Philippines and the government there specifically linking a mass murder earlier this week to a particularly violent video game. The two teenage suspects currently in police custody, excuse me, aged only 14 and 15, allegedly they fired handguns into a classroom. They killed 3 fellow students and wounded 20. And according to the authorities, at least one of those suspects had been playing the gaming app Gorebox, a game by its own definition where players can obliterate anything and engage in brutal combat with an extensive arsenal of weapons. It has an R18 rating, does Gorebox, but the fact that one of them had been playing the game immediately before the shooting is not lost on the authorities. Now, obviously, it's very early days. There's a full investigation to come. But do you know what? As with so many other things, it might be an R18 rating for that game, but there are clearly under 18s who are playing it. The only question is it really directly responsible? Could it really cause a shooting?
And Adam, talking of teenagers, will the Irish be Suryavanchi'd?
Yeah, may well be. We haven't got confirmation yet, but it looks like there will today maybe be an international debut for Vaibhav Suryavanshi. We already know the name extraordinarily since he was 13 and burst into first-class cricket in India, but particularly in the Indian Premier League. If you've had half an eye on the IPL earlier on this year, then his name kept lighting it up. Extraordinary batting feats at the age of 15. So here he is, 15 years and 91 days. He could become the youngest ever to make a debut for India, playing a T20 against Ireland in Belfast, a year younger than Sachin Tendulkar when he debuted for India. Already a star in the IPL. How amazing could Suryavanshi become? Rahul Dravid says he's a unique talent. Chris Gale's called him phenomenal. In the words of Tendulkar himself, Suryavanshi is spectacular and different. So apart from our eyes on for England fans in New Jersey and for Bafana fans in Los Angeles, otherwise all eyes on Belfast. Why not?
Yeah, he's known a lot more in terms of the cricketing world than just a few selectors these days. Adam Gilchrist, we'll leave it there for this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, Mateo, business wrap-up of the morning. Prices at the factory gate surging. Input costs are rising. Do you ever have good news?
I do, on some days. We've always been wondering how the war in Iran would be affecting consumers, and it seems like those prices are heading to the shelves now. South Africa's producer inflation surged to 7.8% year-on-year in May, up from 4.8% in April. Now, data from Stats SA shows the producer price index increased by 2.6% month-on-month in May. Producer inflation measures the prices from the manufacturing sector before they reach retail shelves. South Africa's factory gate inflation has been driven overwhelmingly by the soaring fuel and petroleum costs, which were pushed up by the war in Iran, while food and agricultural prices remained relatively subdued. This is the third month the inflation print has picked up and marks the steepest climb since April 2023.
And Mateo, if you want to bite the apple, it will cost you.
Yes, tech firm Apple has announced price hikes on its MacBook and iPad products. It's the company's first formal move to pass higher memory chip and storage costs on the consumers. The global price hikes are up from up to around $300 across MacBooks, iPads, and other accessories. Not that they weren't expensive.
Don't they have
already.
like a few trillion rand to spare or something?
Yeah, but you must pay that money. Earlier this year, CEO Tim Cook said component prices have become quite unsustainable for the business. Apple shares sank nearly 5% yesterday after the price change, its worst fall since February.
Apple fans are cooked. Where's the rand?
16 Rand 52 against the US dollar. The euro also quite lower. The price of the British pound also coming in at 21 Rand 80. So also falling by 0.5%. There's the rand. Price of gold at $4,007 an ounce. Platinum also down 1.5% at $1,574. Brent crude at $74 a barrel is down 1.6% this morning. Stephen Krotis will wrap up the week in business later this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfisa Zulu, Basop.
That's right, Bongani. It's a warning for supporters of anti-illegal immigration protests, and they have been warned against inciting violence, spreading disinformation, or intimidating others online. Several organizations are planning marches across the country next Tuesday, calling for undocumented foreign nationals to leave South Africa. People have been warned that law enforcement authorities will also be monitoring online activities. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
As preparations for the demonstrations continue, outgoing Western Cape Police Commissioner Thembisile Patekile says authorities will closely monitor social media platforms for threats, hate speech, and any attempts to incite violence. Patekile has urged protest organizers and leaders to ensure their supporters act within the law and to distance themselves from inflammatory statements.
Because we will not hesitate to invoke the provisions of the Cybercrime Act. We will then have to ensure that it's brought to our attention and so that we take actions.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
The South African National Editors Forum is concerned about a growing trend of politicians attacking journalists over unfavorable coverage. The forum yesterday condemned a vitriolic attack by the MK party on Business Day political editor Harja Omarjee after her reporting on alleged links between former President Jacob Zuma and anti-illegal immigrant protests. Carlo Peterson has more.
SANEF says Hajra Omarjee acted within the press code and has urged political parties and movements to raise complaints through formal channels rather than targeting reporters. The forum's executive director, Reggie Mualusi, warned such attacks undermine media freedom and democratic accountability.
We have seen a rise in incidents where journalists who ask questions, who ask for facts, are being targeted. As the South African National Editors Forum, we will continue to condemn the attacks on journalists in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape and Gauteng.
The MK party has denied any link to intimidation, saying it supports peaceful protest. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
The National Gambling Board has requested the Communications and Digital Technologies Department to assist it in addressing illegal offshore online gambling operations in South Africa. Presenting before Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Trade, Industry and Competition this week, the board flagged a surge in offshore operators offering illegal online casinos in the country. The board says it's working with its international counterparts to block access for unlicensed platforms. Anelita Fandese reports.
The National Gambling Board plans to block IP addresses of illegal online gambling platforms in South Africa. The NGB said it had roped in South African law enforcement and provincial licensing authorities to combat illegal gambling, calling for the prioritization of gambling crime. One of the key actions highlighted in this regard was the development of a blocking system to block illegal gambling websites in South Africa. NGB also pointed to marketing regulations as a major concern. The NGB has repeatedly reiterated that interactive gambling was illegal in South Africa, except for online sports betting through licensed platforms. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
And Russia says its air defenses have shot down 660 Ukrainian drones overnight, one of the highest figures since it started the war with Ukraine. Drones were destroyed over more than a dozen regions, including the Russian capital and the annexed Crimea Peninsula, the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Ukraine has stepped up its long-range drone strike campaign against Russia in recent months, particularly targeting energy infrastructure with the aim of depriving the Kremlin of a vital source of revenue to fund its war efforts, now in its fifth year. The Ukraine attack caused a fire last week at a refinery in the southeast of Moscow. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 19 and 21.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 and the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Airlines interchange and Van Buren Road.
The top story this hour, supporters of anti-illegal migration protests have been warned against inciting violence, spreading disinformation or intimidating others online.
Meet Abo, good South African and proud e-hailing driver. One day, he picks up passengers mid-fish and chips feast. Yo, sauce flying, vinegar spraying, then boom, tire taps out. Abo, chill. He's got budget insurance e-hailing cover with 24/7 roadside assist. So, no matter how saucy things get, Budget's got his back. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
This week on MasterChef South Africa, the top 6 are facing a challenge that feels very familiar to the home kitchen, but with serious competition pressure. Ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. This week, the home cooks must make big food using small appliances. They need to be clever, strategic, adaptable, because they are cooking in black aprons. And one of them will be leaving the kitchen.
Actually, I've always loved tabletop appliances. I mean, who doesn't need some help in the kitchen? A good blender, a mixer, a toaster. The thing is, though, you've got to actually take them out of the cupboard and use them, and actually know how to use them properly.
That's true. No prizes for guessing. Today is all about tabletop appliances. In front of you, you all have an air fryer.
Today's challenge is to use tabletop appliances to make a MasterChef-worthy meal. Sounds easy.
Today you will be using the air fryer and one of these appliances, and that is it.
Ah.
Die Poppe sal dans. Catch MasterChef South Africa this Sunday at 6 p.m. on ETV. You can stream it on EVOD at watch.evod.co.za.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars.
And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongani and the listeners. I think with the issue of the medical certificates, we also need to consider what Poppy says, because Poppy is quite clear when it comes to the confidentiality of information. So obviously what the doctor is allowed to disclose, it has to align with what the Poppy Act says, because the doctor can't disclose confidential information without the approval of the patient, because then the doctor will run afoul with the Poppy Act.
Morning, Bongani. My GP has resorted, the practice has resorted to not issuing notes for more than 3 days, I believe it is, because of people coming in, getting a note for a holiday or whatever, faking illness. So they said that the practice has been quite strict on it, limiting it to 3 days, just in the event that it is fraudulent. If the person's unwell, they have to go back. It seems a bit excessive, but I can kind of understand it given the scope of what seems to be happening.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're that ill, you probably need to be at the hospital, don't you?
EWN Sport.
This EWN Sport is brought to you by Checkers. The savings scoreboard keeps climbing. The Checkers XXL Savings Championship brings you 150 million rand in weekly savings only at Checkers. Right, Cindy, we're starting to have a clear picture of what comes next.
Yeah, now all the knockout stages are slowly starting to come to fruition, right? And the fixtures are starting to take shape. We know Bafana plays Canada on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Last night, Ivory Coast beat Curacao 2-0 to advance out the group for the first time, but now have to play France or Norway. France and Norway are unbeaten in their group and battle tonight at 9 p.m. Also waiting to see if they play France or Norway is Sweden. Sweden boss Graham Potter.
It's a tricky one because you can second guess until we know. We won't know. We have to probably recover the players first and make sure that physically we're in a good place for whoever we play. That's the fun part of the tournament. As I said, if you'd have said to me when we first came that would be the challenge we face, I would have absolutely taken it. So we're looking forward to it.
Who would you want to play? Norway
Probably
or
Norway.
France?
Yeah, Norway. Because I would imagine that if you could keep Holland in check, you would stand a better chance than France, who've won it before. They've been there before. Norway, this is their first World Cup, so they'll be a bit edgy, etc., etc. So you kind of got to go with experience.
Yeah.
I'd rather not face France.
Haaland, Mbappe. Okay, I get it.
But it's more about France having played a
yeah.
lot more times. Sweden drew with Japan 1-1 yesterday. Japan have to battle Brazil. Morocco will play the Netherlands, who beat Tunisia 3-1. Ecuador pulled off a shock, going from almost eliminated to qualifying by stunning Germany 2-1. Ecuador will play England in the last 32. USA will play Bosnia-Herzegovina. The co-host lost to Turkey this morning 3-2. Paraguay's goalless game with Australia keeps their hopes alive. Tonight, Senegal must beat Iraq, and Group H is still wide open. Spain against Uruguay, Cape Verde against Saudi Arabia. At the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, the Proteas thrashed Netherlands by 88 runs last night thanks to Tasman Britt's maiden T20 century. She was unbeaten on 114 from 69.
I've never faced the Netherlands bowlers, watched a bit of their videos, but you never know what's coming. So I think maybe I was just a bit more steady to see what is happening. I mean, we don't want to lose a few wickets up front. So yeah, once I read the wicket a bit better as well, then I thought it's time to move on.
The Proteas next play Bangladesh on Sunday. They also need Australia to beat India in that group. Yesterday, India beat Bangladesh by 5 wickets to stay second in the group. Today, Sri Lanka against Scotland. In men's test cricket, New Zealand 361 for 4 at stumps on day one of the deciding third test with England. Conway made 157 and Latham 151. And the Formula One is in Austria this weekend. Championship leader Kimi Antonelli, who was forced to retire in the last race, is looking forward to it.
I was still happy with the race, and unfortunately these things happen. You know, the most important is how you bounce back, and I'm sure the team has been working super hard and they've been trying to fix this issue. And on my side, it's, again, different weekend, different track, new challenge. It's going to be very warm and it's not an easy track, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And the MotoGP's in the Netherlands this weekend. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The savings scoreboard just keeps climbing. The Checkers XXL Savings Championship brings you 150 million rand in weekly savings on deals like Jacob's Kroning or Gold Instant Coffee, 200 or 230 grams, any two for 299 rand. Save 101 rand. And Baby Soft 2-ply white or quilts toilet rolls, 18 per pack for 249 rand. Valid until 28 June. Only at Checkers.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. That's what Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for. Entrepreneurs who've turned their pain into purpose, who've built solutions that truly make a difference. If your business generates between 1 and 20 million rand, you could get funding, mentorship, and the support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner, and then access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. If you're solving real problems, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com.
Right, gang, are we all in? Liam? Here. Ethan? Here. Andrew? Here. Luca? Yeah. Amelia? Yeah. Violet? Yeah, Mom. Introducing the Chang'an CS75 Pro, a powerful turbocharged engine, modern safety features, and room with 7 seats for everyone.
Hey, that's not everyone. You forgot Choppy, Mom.
Oh, Choppy. The all-new CS75 Pro.
Chang'an, driven to evolve.
The Global Entrepreneurship Congress Africa returns to Cape Town from 16 to 17 September 2026. The continent's largest Pan-African platform brings together investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. GEC Plus Africa is powered by African Bank in partnership with the Western Cape Government, Microsoft, Amazon, Telkom, 22 on Sloan, and more. Register on gecafrica.co. GEC Plus Africa, connecting Africa.
This winter is a cold one, Mzansi. Keep the heat in and the cold out with Cash Build. Save on electricity and keep your home warm with our top quality ceiling insulation. Plus, upgrade to our energy efficient geysers and geyser blankets to keep your water hot for longer. Don't turn into an ice block this winter. Visit your nearest Cash Build store for quality insulation and energy-efficient geysers. Cash Build.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 10, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Amo Ramila.
Thank you, Bongani. We've got delays on the N12 and the R24 West. That's as you head towards Bedford View between Edenville Road and the Glulies Interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road while traveling in Eldorado Park. Some issues along the N12 West approaching Cliffsbridge Valley Road. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Between 9 and 12, of course, the Clement Manyatela Show daily here on 702. Talking to us from our Cape Town studios. If you're watching us
Good
on
morning.
YouTube, don't think I'm talking to myself. Clement, is there a marathon this weekend?
No.
What's coming up on the show?
Though. Coming up on the show, we're going to start with the 702 open line and we'll reflect on what happened yesterday. We didn't talk much about it on the open line, but I do want to hear what our listeners' thoughts are on that plea deal that's been struck by Ket Matlala with the NPA. And I'm just wondering, who are these senior generals that are likely to fall as a result of Ket Matlala coming out and really spilling the beans on who was involved in this fraud-related 360 million rand tender from the SAPS.
The timing
at 10 o'clock, though.
I was going to say the timing is really, really quite tricky ahead, of course, of what is scheduled for next week. Here we are. Our eye may not be on the ball on that because people are wondering, is my name on that list?
Exactly. At 10 o'clock, we do the Across the Desk feature, and today I'm hosting vocalists on Across the Desk, and at 11 o'clock we're going to do our relationship feature, and today we'll be discussing the orgasm gap, how to have a shared orgasm with your partner.
Clement Manyathela between 9 and 12. It's going to be very exciting. Hey, Clement?
We needed cardboard, glue and tape for ancient history. But now we've built a pyramid with flashing LEDs. The dogs bore calls like Pharaoh and there's glitter on the floor. How did we end up here? Well, it's the crazy store.
That's crazy, crazy. That's the crazy store. Went in for one small thing, came out with so much more.
The crazy store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
Got a bright spot between 10 and 13 at home? Then get them ready for the Whiz Quiz with Bongani Bingwa here on 702 Breakfast. 10 questions, 10 chances, 10,000 Rand waiting to be won. Every correct answer bags $100, but you nail all of them, you'll score 10,000 Rand. Sign them up now on primemediaplus.com and then catch 702 Breakfast every morning to hear if your genius will take the quiz where the brains turn into bucks, because smart kids win big on 702.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
That's Kefense, before she got naked. Kefense's premium went up twice last year, and she was more confused than when her ex said, "I need to find myself," and then found somebody else. So Kefense got naked. She got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Good for you, Kefense. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702.
This weekend.
For a young comedian trying his luck on So You Think You're Funny back in 2009, I beg your pardon, to becoming one of South Africa's most recognizable comedy voices, but also entertainment faces. Our guest today has spent the last decade making the country laugh while steadily building an impressive career on television as an actor, a TV host, a podcaster, and entertainer. And along the way, he's shared stages with comedic giants, hosted major awards shows, and picked up industry accolades. And of course, you'll know him as the face, the unmasked face of the Masked Singer South Africa. Mpho Pops Modikwane joins us now on the line. Mpho, a very good morning to you. 10 years, hey, of headlining stages, shaping South African comedy. It's a long way since 2009.
Good morning, former Masked Singer, Mr.
You didn't know it was me, so Tula. I mean, just our line is a little unsteady there, but let's just go back to, even I'll take you back to So You Think You're Funny. How did you know you were funny?
Friends and family. I think that's always how you know you're funny. When the closest to you are like, we're getting these jokes for free.
It's one thing, though, I mean, we all think we're funny in the right circumstances with our people, but to stand in front of a crowd of strangers who do not know you, who don't have context to your life, and to stand and deliver, I imagine, at least in the beginning, that must be a challenge.
It is. Also, structures of comedy, especially...
All right, no, our line is really, really bad. I tell you what, I'm going to put you on hold and get the producers to try and reconnect you because we're just not hearing anything you are saying there.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, Suleiman Karim and Mr. Van Veek are suffering from madlangalitis every time they need to go testify because they know what they have done. You telling me they cannot sit down and have a conversation? They cannot speak because they are not being asked to work. They are asked to just come and sit down and have a conversation and talk to the country. Tell us what you have done, why you stole the monies you've stole, why are you so corrupt? But bona, every morning they need to come. They are suffering from madlangalitis. We must be taken serious as a country.
It's funny, but a no laughing matter. All right, we've got Mpho Pops Mudigwane back on the line. Mpho, let's see if that's a little better. Can you hear us? Hello, Mpho. Earth to Mpho. Ay. What do we do? We're going to try and reconnect. The line dropped. I wonder if he's at the top of Table Mountain or something of that sort. But the line is dropping. We're talking, of course, to Mpho Pops because he is going to be celebrating 10 years as a professional comedian. He's recording a special at the Lyric Theatre at Gold Reef City Casino. That's happening tonight, this evening at 8 o'clock, and tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the evening. You can get tickets, by the way, at Web Tickets for that performance. So it's a special recording of a comedy special, Mpho Pops, celebrating 10 years of comedy, happening at the Lyric Theatre. This is at Gold Reef Casino, and we're trying, of course, to connect to him, and the line just not helping us there.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Morning, Bongs, morning, and that's the Friday. Bongs, I don't think we lack those skills. It's just a matter of those people took over from where we were. If you think logically, olden days, where do we get those things? Where our parents were getting those things? From ourselves. We just don't want to implement things that can help youth to do those things. Like hence the other guy once said, why did they close those colleges where they were doing those kind of works, those kind of things that needs to be done in this country? Why did they close them? So it's not a matter of we don't have skills. We do. People can do that. South Africans can do that. I'm telling you, boss.
702.
This weekend.
All right, so we try. Third time lucky. We've got a new number, I'm told. Mpho. Hello, Mpho.
Hello.
You must pay your phone bill, hey? Pay MTN. All right. Third time lucky. Let's try again. So tell us about this birthday special at the Lyric Theatre this weekend.
So 10 years ago, I decided to start the birthday show, right? And the idea was, how do you celebrate your birthday in such a way that you don't leave anyone not feeling included? And it's very hard. The older you get, the more your friendships grow, the more people you encounter and you meet. Everyone wants to celebrate their day with you. So I started doing the birthday show as a way of like, why don't we all meet somewhere and have a show and celebrate afterwards? And that's where the birthday comedy show was birthed, because it allows for friends and family and colleagues and people who support me to actually come and enjoy a night with me and celebrate my birthday with me.
So who's famous? Who's famous and funny? Who's coming?
So this is the thing about the birthday show. My lineup is top secret. It's one of those things you have to experience it when you're there. Over the years, we've had Jason Goliath, Kumba, Lois Ogola, comics from America. We've had Griff, who was a part of the Comedy Central roast and was a part of so many productions here. I've also had special appearances by people like Dr. Malinga, Kabelo Mabelani, Pitch Black Afro. There's been so many people. So the idea is that, unlike any other show, you never know who the lineup is. So therefore, it's a pleasant surprise.
You spend too much time at the Masked Singer, I think, hey?
But we've got that feeling, right? That feeling at the Masked Singer, right? You get entertained by these beautiful masks. And then at the end of it, when the mask comes off, you're like, this whole time. You can sing.
And of course, you've just wrapped up yet another season of filming The Masked Singer. Mpho, we've got some rapid fire questions for you. We want you to answer as quickly as you can. First thing that comes to your mind. We'll start easy, getting harder. Coffee or tea?
Definitely tea.
Scripted set or crowd work?
Crowd work.
Dress up or cash?
Ooh, tough one. Cash.
Your go-to comfort food?
Go to comfort food, chocolate.
Roast or one-man show?
Oh, roast. I think I'm quicker with the roast.
Small comedy club, intimate or big stage venue?
Small, intimate comedy club.
Dave Chappelle or Bernie
Dave
Mac?
Chappelle. I don't want to hear nobody. Dave Chappelle.
Early bird or night owl?
Definitely night owl. That's when my brain has more activity.
High heels or Crocs?
You know, I'll
For you.
rather go high heels. I'll rather go high heels. No ways. I've never owned a Croc, never will.
Cooking or ordering in?
Ordering in.
Head or heart?
Heart.
What are your thoughts on dad jokes?
Love them. Especially when you have a daughter who doesn't. I love the effect. I love the rolling eyes effect.
You've been on my Instagram, have you? Plan everything or do you go with the flow?
Both. I plan everything and then I allow because we get so upset when our plans don't work. We forget that we actually still have to go with the flow no matter how much you plan.
Chiefs or Pirates?
Yo, Sundowns.
Chiefs or Pirates?
Oh, Pirates.
Ah, there you go. Good man. Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm a dog lover.
All right. And Pop Pops, as I say, the special is happening at the Lyric Theatre. Happy birthday, Gold Reef City Casino. You can get your tickets at Web Tickets. The lineup is a big secret. He will not mask it or unmask the performers, but it's for you to be surprised. But producers are pressing me for this one as we leave off our conversation. Pure Monate Show or Late Night News with Loiso Kola?
Pure Monate Show.
Obvious.
There will never be any other show for Pure Monate Show. They once had a skit where David Gow was Spider-Man and someone sprayed him with doom. I'll never forget.
Was it a pasta?
I laughed till I cried, yes.
Ooh. Pop-ups, enjoy your comedy special, my man. Thank you for talking to us and good luck and happy birthday.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
And it's 9 o'clock. The Clement Manyatela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The National Dialogue, an initiative launched by President Cyril Ramaphosa to address urgent national challenges, is under the spotlight, and it's not for the right reasons. EWN has obtained information about secrecy and allegations of misuse of funds. Ramaphosa announced the National Dialogue almost a year ago, but it seems now its internal disputes are threatening to overshadow its rollout. Dimakatso Leshuru has more.
Insiders allege that the inflow of public funds has triggered what they describe as a feeding frenzy, with concerns growing that another taxpayer-funded gravy train has left the station. Despite repeated requests, including from EWN, there remains limited public information about how the money has been spent. Insiders say control over the funds is exercised by a 5-member management executive committee comprising Kamisa Tengile, a staunch ANC member, Dr. Valencia Andrews, Queen Rebecca Como, David Murema, and Lux Gweka Matiso. Public money has allegedly been splurged on expensive travels and hotel stays. In one instance, 2,000 rand for a return trip between Soweto and Kosato House in Braamfontein, a 27-kilometer distance. EWN has learned that some members who joined the process on a voluntary basis are now seeking to be paid and raised this in a letter addressed to National Treasury. National Treasury has rejected this. Dimakatso Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Self-proclaimed police informant Dumelonku will return to the Matlanga